And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your host, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by... Nope.
Bitch. Soze.
Nope.
And the rat of a red baron.
We're a little short-staffed tonight. Because,
They're bitches.
yep. You heard it here first.
Called him out.
That's all I need to know.
Yep.
Yep.
But that's okay. We're here.
Yeah.
And we're pretty cool.
I'm cool.
I'd say.
You're all right.
You'd be my top 3.
Nice.
Yeah. In no particular order. You're just kind of in the top
Are you
3.
also in your top 3?
No, I top out at 5 in my top 3. Which is okay. I like the honorable mention.
Yeah. Starting lineup of a celebrity badminton game, I guess. There's only 3 of us.
I guess I'll go first.
Souls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got from Thomas Hooker
Where's that
Brewery. It is in Bloomfield, Connecticut.
Your favorite brewery.
It's my favorite, but I haven't been there because I don't like them.
They make super duper double citra.
Yeah, no, I don't like them. Like the people.
You just like the beer that they produce?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
No basis to go off of that, but please continue, Kyle.
It's my thought. Dick. I drinking double hashtag no filter. That's right. I included the hashtag.
I could see that being a beer, though.
It is a beer.
But you added the hashtag.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you...
I am the hashtag.
Right.
Hashtag Souls Life.
You guys keeping score at home? We following along?
Hashtag Souls for Life.
Hashtag Souls for Life.
Yeah.
Get that tattooed on your chest.
I'm going to write on my forehead. In purple ink. Matt DeCann.
Good on you.
We're off to a riveting start here.
From the good folks at Budweiser, I'm
Not
having...
the Riddler collection.
Not the Riddler collection.
He actually bought his own beer for once.
No, I didn't. This was a gift.
You are such a cheap fuck.
God, I just have a large supply of booze. I'm very fortunate. But I'm dwindling down, so any submissions to the...
Any submissions to the Kendall Reed GoFundMe?
So the Budweiser Black Lager made with Jim Beam or in Jim Beam barrels, something to that effect.
Aged in Jim Beam staves.
It was in Jim Beam? Like it had sex with it?
It might have. So, truth be told, I've had this before, but not on the show. So,
Yes, you have.
have I?
I think so.
No.
Yeah, Jeff brought it one time. That's how old this is. That's how old this beer is.
Yeah.
That Jeff had it on the show. I am drinking from our friends at Thimble Island Brewery in Branford, Connecticut. The... does it not have a name?
Just call it Archer, man.
Yeah, I'm going to call it the Sterling Archer. It's a dry hopped Pilsner brewed with Sterling hops. So it has a Sterling Archer kind of like torso on the can. They can't put the face on there. They gave him a butt chin, which I'm pretty sure Sterling Archer does not have a butt chin. But they gave a butt chin, probably for copyright reasons. But like the font on the can is an Archer-style font. And so if you're not familiar with Archer, go fuck yourself. But it's an FX show. Very fun.
Very, very funny show. Big fan.
Very funny.
You like Lana.
Lana's cool.
And Cocaine Pam.
Oh, Cocaine Pam is very
Yeah,
cool.
Also very cool. So go
Also Cheryl Burley.
give them all a Google search.
Not the mom though.
Why not?
No, well, no.
Kyle's more into non-cocaine Pam. Picking up what I'm putting down. Kyle,
Always.
because she's not long fat. She's wide fat. Kyle, would you do freaky things with Pam and the HR dolphin?
Yeah.
Yeah, fisted her with a dolphin. Kyle, seem down, man.
Nah.
Oh, okay. Do you have any toasts of excellence, Kyle?
I do. Mine to Racine Mozart. All right. Hell of a game last night, for one.
You didn't watch it, but hell of a game.
Oh, no, I was working.
Loser.
But also, didn't know he got cut by 6 different teams.
Mm.
So good for him. Happy for him.
Rat.
Let's go Chiefs.
You're just saying that because your cousin.
I'm saying that so the 49ers don't also tie us.
At this point, I just want him to tie him. He's not special anymore to have 6, so I just want everyone to have 6.
Then when you guys get 7, it'll be better.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. We'll give a little bit of a homer one to the Titans. You know, it was a fun run. It was exciting throughout the stretch. It came down to...
Oh, yours with the Felix Hernandez.
No, it was not. I have a second one, but I think I'm going to default to Paul because I think the Riddler knows.
Is it the Felix Hernandez?
No.
Do you know why I'm saying that?
I don't think I do. Honestly.
He signed today.
I didn't see that.
A minor league deal.
Oh, I got one more.
With the Braves.
Nah, what are you going to do? To the winningest Mets manager in history, Carlos Beltran. Undefeated.
Listen, I don't want. We can touch on that. But I'm
No,
gonna go
I don't
off
want to
for
talk about it. I don't,
5
at this point, I'm just so annoyed with everything.
Because-
I can't talk about it.
That was what you said you could. I would know more about.
No, not that thing. Nothing.
Oh, what's the other thing? You forgot?
No. PK.
PK Subban?
What was that?
Same sport.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Penalty
That's
kill
it.
Subban?
That's
No.
it. Penalty kill Subban.
Patrick Kane scoring his 1,000th point.
Ah.
Become the 90th player in NHL history to do such. Assist on a Brandon Saad goal.
Why should you say Patrick Kane? He's not. He doesn't go like PK.
Because the Riddler is more deserving to say that than I.
Oh, yeah, but so is that your toast, though?
No, mine was to the Titans. And
Mine's also to the... Okay, I'm confused. The Colorado Avalanche for the Navy Federal NHL Stadium Series jerseys, because those are fuego. And I might buy one just to have it.
let's give that a search. If I can find the cursor.
There are El Fuego.
What player would you get?
What is it?
Probably McKinnon.
Patrick Roy?
There you go. Type in Avalanche Stadium Series jersey.
God, watching you type is painful.
Typing is painful.
Oh, there they are. 4th one.
Oh, it's the first image right there. This is 4 days ago. Right there, yeah. Those are fucking fuego.
That is pretty cool.
They almost look like sweaters. Like, they don't look like jerseys.
Yeah.
Like, they look like apparel, like you would just normally find somebody in.
So the logo takes up like the entire
Yeah,
jersey.
you get the mountains in it with the A and everything. It's pretty mint. Big fan. Large fan.
Like this image right here.
Mom, look what I got. I found it in the bathroom and semen on it, but I'm going to wear it anyway. Also would like to give...
Wait.
What? No. Also would like to extend some Getting Sports with Drunk best wishes to NBA Atlanta Hawks veteran Chandler Parsons, who recently was struck in his car by a intoxicated driver, causing him to suffer some severe injuries that he and some doctors may believe to be career-ending. So, regardless of coming back or not to play NBA basketball, we hope and wish for the best. You don't want to see that to anybody. And Chandler Parsons, despite the frustration he's caused some NBA fans over the years, souls. Grizzlies, Mavericks.
More the Grizzlies. He was good for them.
But still frustrating. But still, you never wish to see that, and you know, to have something like that happen. So
Like Justin Timberlake played him to go there.
yeah, it's just weird. Hey, you're a white guy. I'm a white guy. You should come to Memphis. I know some dry rub.
Sold.
I won't be there that often though, because I'll be too busy banging my hot ass wife in Connecticut. They live in Connecticut.
And these are facts.
Yeah,
I'll go find him.
17 Talmadge Hill Road, Prospect, Connecticut.
That'd be cool.
Would it?
For me.
Gotta be like, I need to change my bedroom now. Dad, look, give me the master bedroom. I will give you $20,000 a month in rent. I also need a window put in with the world's largest. You know, just give me the Hubble. Give me the Hubble telescope. You'd like see Kyle looking through it and be like, Kyle, I'm pretty sure like Jay Beal like left for the day. Yeah, I know. Justin's showering.
Let's crack open these beers, huh?
Brewskis.
Mine's a laser.
That is a Budweiser Black Lager, all right.
Shut up, you idiot.
That's
So
not
real
very
quick
nice.
before we get into, we didn't really discuss this ahead of time, but since we're 2 people down for the show, we're gonna have to do some auto drafting for our next fantasy draft. But today's baseball spoiler. What do you guys think about this lineup? Just first, second, third, and short. 3 outfielders, a catcher, 3 starting pitchers, 2 relief pitchers, and a closer, or 1 relief pitcher and a closer.
That's good.
I mean, it doesn't.
Can you pick closers for the relief role?
No. We're gonna leave this up to Souls and Kyle to
That's right.
determine if somebody is a closer versus a relief pitcher.
Souls and me, baby.
No.
That's what he said.
Did I?
He said
Yes,
Souls
he-
and Kyle.
Oh, I meant Kendall. I meant Kendall and Red Baron.
That's right.
He said Souls and Kyle.
All right, I meant you guys.
I
both of you.
get all the say.
Hey, you guys.
That's right. Hey, you guys.
Do you guys want to do any utility, or do you think that's enough people?
That's enough people. I'll get the other 2 lost.
What other 2?
That's right.
They're not here. We're drafting for them.
All right, then Ghost. Yeah, then utility, baby.
So you want a utility?
Super utility guy.
1?
Has to play at least 3 positions.
1?
One.
Yeah.
Okay.
Has to play 3 of them.
So we'll get to that later on.
And I did a whole thing about this.
Well, I think we'll wait because Mass might Skype in. So
Yeah, there's a potential for him to Skype.
So if he Skypes in, he can draft this team,
But I don't like him.
and then we'll auto draft Mock.
Yeah.
As a punishment, he just gets the last pick.
Was he? Could he Skype? Was he going to?
Nah, he's working.
He's
He never texted me the people that he wanted, and I never really reminded him. But I said it last week, so at the end of the day, while the fault is not really that much his, it's still more his than mine, so he suffers.
all right.
Tomato, tomato, right?
Sure.
Yeah. All right,
Potato,
so I
potato.
guess we'll do our quick recap of the championship games because
yes.
we are we're 2 weeks or we're 13 days away from Miami, Super Bowl 56.
That's right. The Dolphins are in.
4. That's right. Yeah, it's a Dolphins Marlins showdown
Yep.
in a game of lacrosse.
Winner takes best Miami team.
Literally Googled.
No,
best
no,
online life
no,
insurance. Ladder
no,
Life Insurance
no,
popped
no,
up an
no,
estimate, and
no.
Skip the ad.
Could have just done that. Oh,
Skip
now
the
you
ad.
see.
Today on the Getting Sports with Drunk NFL Weekend Recap. It's a short one. Only 2 games played, but the 2 most important conference games of the year. The AFC Championship, the NFC Championship. Who's representing which conference in the Super Bowl? That's right, this past weekend we had the AFC matchup. First off with the Kansas City Chiefs playing host to the streaking Tennessee Titans. Who was going to win this matchup? The rumbling, bumbling, stumbling Derrick Henry and his almost 200-yard performance in 3 straight games, or the come-from-behind victory Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid-led Chiefs? The game started off with
TBD.
the game started off with the Titans doing what they do best, ground and pound, scoring early, and making the other team chase. But Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid doing what they do best, slinging, dinging, winging, and coming up with fancy play calls. The Kansas City Chiefs bounce back to make a miraculous comeback and make it a game where they end up being the victors. Don't remember the final score, but Chiefs
35-24.
there you go. Chiefs beat the Titans to secure the AFC spot in Super Bowl 54. And then the NFC Championship game. The Arizona Cardinals weren't part of it, but the Green Bay Packers were, and they went to San Fran to play the 49ers. Jimmy G threw an astounding 8 passes, 77 yards, but Mozart, 224 touchdowns on the ground after a Tevin Coleman injury, trouncing the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, but also threw 2 picks, including one to the hot Richard Sherman these days. Green Bay never got it going, and the empty numbers from Aaron Rodgers showed just the struggle that Green Bay had both through the air and on the ground, as the stout San Francisco 49ers defense proved they are the real deal. That's right, in Miami, Kansas City, San Fran, similar jerseys, 2 fun tight ends. We're going to see who's the winner. Super Bowl 54.
TBD.
Beautiful. Music to my ears.
It was literally music to yours.
Yeah.
That's the thing nobody's talking about yet. We're talking Kelsey versus Kittle.
Yeah.
One has good hair, one doesn't.
One has a Super Bowl champion brother, the other one doesn't.
That's right.
Did you guys see Kelsey's post-game thing? I thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
You got to earn your right. Or was it? No, it's like, you got to fight for your right to party. And then George Kittle ran around the stadium with the NFC Championship trophy.
Yeah.
They're just two fun guys.
It would have been fun if you dropped it.
I know. We're gonna have a real mushrooms tight end there. Get it? Two fun guys. Where's the private stock? Is it that Kraken
It's right
bottle?
here.
There's two.
What's that Kraken bottle?
That Kraken was one of the guys on Peter's show.
Oh, so it's just Kraken?
Just Kraken, yeah.
All right. You ever get like a pimple in the crease of your nose?
See this right here?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm dealing with.
It hurts.
Day 2.
You can't really itch it.
I've been trying to pop it. It's horrible. It hurts so much.
It like reminds me of that time that I accidentally got a sewing needle in my cornea.
There's this one time that happened.
See, what had happened was I was in a sewing fight. Things got crazy. TBD. So Kendall, because we're having a lackluster of and we're having a lack of NFL Monday Night Football recently, Kendall has now resulted to game casting NBA games.
I wish that ESPN played Monday night games, like on their channel. That's professional.
I don't think any. There's no broadcast that does it from Monday. Well, actually, no. This is on TNT.
Yeah.
You might be able to get it with your.
I guess I could search it.
Cable subscriber.
Yeah, you swine.
Yeah, you fucking jamoke.
You fucking bitch.
I typed in TNT basketball. What if
You
this is gonna
fucking
work?
dummy.
We play basketball.
Bum, ba-da, bum, 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 bum.
My name is Kendall Reed, and I smell like a rat. I am a Red Baron, and I am marrying Rita. Huh.
And he is really dumb. Hey.
Hey. Yeah. Hey, Kyle, you know what time it is? It's 8:39. You know what that means? 39 minutes ago, it was 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
That's right.
What does that mean?
Team Edge, baby.
Yeah. Kendall, you would love Team Edge. I know we've said it about a lot of things, but you got to search some Team Edge videos.
Team Edge?
Oh, dude, they're great. They just do challenges, like, of stupid shit. Like, one we watched was not a sponsor, by the way.
They could be one day.
That would be awesome. Actually, Kendall, you know who would really like them? Your father.
What is that? Because
they're ridiculous. They eat weird things, challenges, painful, all that stuff. But they're also, everybody on the channel, they're all, like, related. So it's like one guy, the guy who started it was Matthias. And then his brother Joey does it. And then they have a cousin named Bobby. And then Joey and Matthias' sister married a guy named Brian. So the 4 of the guys are the ones that do it. And they're all, like, very Christian. Like, they, like, you know, Bible verses and not, like, on the podcast, but, like, they've done them, like, in trivia questions and, like, when they have done, like, reflection shows, they, like, talk about being, like men of the book and stuff like that. So it's, like, perfect for your dad, the balance of, like, sinner and holiness, you know? No, but you'd like it. They do, like, Kyle, what are some good ones we've watched?
They did, like, a catapult pie to the face.
All right, I follow.
They did a dizzy bat baseball home run derby type game thing.
But then they also do other ones where like they just have like a list of like shit, and they went to Disneyland and they had to like take a selfie with a stranger, 10 points,
like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, exactly. But they've done all kinds of like other like weird ones that have been like a lot of fun that I just like think like and a lot of them too, like when they start off with like the mini version. So like one time they did punishment Jenga, so they started off with normal Jenga. Then they played giant Jenga, and written on the blocks were punishments or rewards. So it was like you pulled out a block and you successfully got it and put it on the top, but on the block it said eat 6 drops of Carolina Reaper pepper sauce, or must do next turn with both hands duct taped to your feet and shit like that. It's just they're very funny, very good. You'd like Joey.
What's the name of it again? It's
Team Edge.
Team Edge. Check it out.
Not a sponsor.
You won't do it.
I will. Why wouldn't I?
Because you're dumb.
All right, that's not nice.
Yeah, you're a dick, Kyle.
Am I wrong?
No, but you're still a dick.
Right. I mean, come on.
I'm Dick Soul.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
So, Souls, now, so you guys want to talk any NFL stuff? Just get it out of the way? Or?
Only thing I wanted to say was because there's not much to say. I mean, both teams kind of dominated. The Titans, I feel like the Titans didn't blow it per se, but that run when
Mahomes down the sideline.
You know, this is the thing I'll never understand. These defensive players always want to light somebody up. That was the perfect time. The quarterback's in the open field, and they went for the strip. You could have lit him up. And then again, the goal is I don't want to see anybody hurt, but it's like all these times you're getting penalized for hitting people. And it's like this was the one time that you should have done it, and they gave up a touchdown. And at that point, it was just like the Houston game. The wind was out of the sails for the Titans. I just knew Kansas City was going to win from that point on.
Yeah, they score so fast.
Yeah, it's
they're down 10-0, and all of a sudden it's 14-10.
Yeah, very exciting team. And I was just it's a bias. I don't really like Green Bay, so I was happy that they didn't make it. And the Packers were what they thought they were.
What is it, like a 50-year drought for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, 50 years. The only thing that, for historical purposes, what would have been interesting, because the first Super Bowl was Green Bay, Kansas City. But other than that, that's the only...
See, like, for me, though, like, it wouldn't have been as exciting. Like, that would have been exciting if it was, like a milestone Super Bowl. Like, Super Bowl 50 would have been cool as Kansas City, Green Bay.
That would make sense.
Like, you know, but, like, 54, who gives a shit? So, moving on then. So, like, did you watch both games?
Yes.
So, the Packers game, I mean, the 49ers were just all over. They couldn't... Like, it wasn't like, you know, like, there's a lot of, like, memes and shit out there or whatever about, like, oh, like, Green Bay, do you want, like, it was like the SpongeBob meme where it was like, hey, do you guys feel like tackling Mozart today? And it was like, SpongeBob like, nah, I don't feel like it. And it's like, but it really wasn't Mozart, like, being a breaking tackle machine. It's just San Francisco's offensive line just got gritty. They got up the field, and the lanes that they made were there and, like, Mozart hit one run in between the left tackle and the left guard for about 45 yards. And when the run ended, the left tackle and the left guard still had their blocks engaged, and you could have like siphoned traffic through that for like 5 minutes. Yeah. It was just like they held their ground. They got up the field into the second unit or second level against Green Bay's defense constantly, and Green Bay's offense just didn't click at all.
They haven't clicked all year.
No, I mean, you know, they weren't getting anything going, and then they finally had, they started to get a little bit of momentum going, and then the center and Rodgers botched the snap.
Yep.
You call it on who you want. People don't want to blame Rodgers, but if you go back and watch the tape, and actually if you listen to Troy Aikman, he said it right on commentary, Rodgers has got to get his hands in there more. His hands weren't deep enough in there to get the snap, and it was, and the center doesn't know he doesn't have it. They don't feel it fall.
Yeah.
So that was a fumble that the 49ers recovered, and then they got the ball back with 2 minutes to go, and Rodgers threw a pick.
They said, Pat McAfee said Mozart had like 170 yards without being touched.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Well, another thing, too.
Again, that I'm sorry, but when you're talking about yards without contact for a running back, that is 100% going to be more on the offensive line and your tight ends than it ever will be on. I mean, they ran one gadget play where it was a fake it was a fake inside run end around flip to Deebo Samuel, and the fucking edge set by Emmanuel Sanders of all people. Emmanuel Sanders set the edge on Zadarius Smith like he was a lead center blocker forever.
He picked up 30 yards on it.
And he picked up 30 yards on it. I mean, everybody in that game, it's like they're just like, we're going to run 40 times, and everyone's going to block. And that's what they did.
Back to the same thing I was listening to. Terry Bradshaw was asking Kyle Shanahan, how come you stuck to, how come you went to the ball 8 times? And Kyle Shanahan said, why would I change anything? Everything was just working.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to change nothing. If we're going to pick up 240 yards off the ground and keep chewing the clock and picking up significant yards, there's no point of changing nothing. So it wasn't like going into the game, we're going to rush the ball that many times. It was more of all right, they can't stop us on the ground. We're just going to keep calling run plays.
Yeah. And, the line was incredible. Kittle and Juszczyk, I think, are the best, skill position blockers that are in the league, bar none.
Kyle Shanahan said it, when they were doing all the pregame stuff leading up to that game all week long, that, George, they said, they were talking about, the team, the mentality of how we're a team, no one player type of deal. And, like, they did the cutesy one where it was like Garoppolo said the best thing that ever happened to him was tearing his ACL because they got Nick Bosa out of it. Now, of course, that's a hindsight thing because obviously you would have loved to have not had that happen.
Right, of course.
And seen what this 49ers team could have done maybe last year. But Nick Bosa is a huge part of what this team is doing. But, like, Shanahan said that George Kittle has not once this season asked for at any point to get the ball or said, I'm going to be open or anything like that. He every 7 to 10 plays he comes in and goes, who should I be looking for on this run play that we're going to call later? Or who am I supposed to be hitting? Who am I supposed to be blocking? And, George Kittle, I mean, that George Kittle is, and I think we're going to see this more from tight ends like a George Kittle, was something that was so underappreciated by Rob Gronkowski because we saw how electric he was as a vertical threat tight end. I mean, he ran the seam route better than any tight end ever in the history of the NFL has, and has murdered many defenses doing it. But he was an astonishing run blocker. But because of his vertical threat, and this year especially, I think that you got to see it because Kittle quietly had a really good year receiving. I don't think he had the touchdowns that he did last year, but he quietly had a really good year receiving. But they were so effective on the ground as a team, not as a unit. It wasn't like it's one thing if you have a Derrick Henry, but when you have a team that can put up 250 rushing yards a game, you start noticing things like Kittle's run blocking, and Usyk is, there's a reason he's the highest. There's a reason that a lot of teams don't put fullbacks in. And then there's a reason that the 49ers made him the highest paid fullback in NFL history.
Yeah.
We saw him in Baltimore how effective he was. Went to San Francisco, and he's just the same player. They run with him, too, sometimes.
He's a good runner. He's got wiggle. He's got power. He's got hands. He's a great blocker. He's a Swiss Army knife.
Very true.
But, I mean, like I said, I said in the review, Rodgers was empty numbers. I mean, I think
they were down 24-0, I think.
24-0 at the half. They came out and scored a touchdown on the opening drive, and it was mostly just dink and dunk. It was 5-yard runs, 6-yard pass, and that's fine. They got the momentum going. Mozart ran in like a 30-yard touchdown on the next drive for the 49ers. And I think they had one I think they had like a 48-yard completion to Devontae Adams. That wasn't a score, but really, I mean, the rest of it, I mean, it was a lot of screen passes. They were running a lot of running back screens. Rodgers was under duress a lot. He made some really good throws. Devontae Adams had one mean cut route to the outside that freed up for like a 17-yard reception. But I mean, when you're running Mercedes Lewis screens, you're just trying to get the ball moving. And I mean, there was one play where they ran a double fake reverse. The Packers ran a double fake reverse flea flicker. So they handed it off on a jet sweep, pitched to the other running back, who then pitched it back to Rodgers, and not one 49ers defensive back gave up on their assignment. And that was a touchdown play. Yeah, that was designed to put the ball in the end zone. And not one DB left their assignment.
Yeah. Rodgers checked it down.
Yeah, he checked it. I mean, they ended up getting an 8-yard completion out of it, so they got something out of it. But I mean, that was supposed to be a home run, like, let's get back in this game play. And that play was the epitome of the 49ers defense against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And I think that this game just goes to show you how good of a coach Shanahan really is. Because you can, I agree, like what we were saying, like, why would he change anything about the running? Mm-hmm. But you can tell that they had zero intentions of coming out and having Garoppolo get into a shootout with Rodgers. They came in, they played their strengths. They played their strengths against their opponent's weaknesses, which are outside runs, and they played them beautifully.
This just also proves that the Packers need desperately another receiver.
They need another receiver, and they need a consistent difference maker in the front seven. They have a lot of guys that played really well individually.
Preston Smith,
both Smith brothers played well. Blake Martinez is always a factor. Like everybody had good games here and there. They all put up impressive individual numbers. but they don't have one guy on that team, you know, like, and I'm not saying it has to be a Khalil Mack or an Aaron Donald or a Joey Bosa, but they don't have the one guy that's consistently a threat on his own every game that you have to pay a double attention to him.
Every great defense has that one guy.
Right, and you look at it, look at this year, you can tell how important Akeem Hicks was to the Chicago Bears defense. Because when Akeem Hicks went down, there wasn't that consistent competitive getting to the quarterback run stuffer, so they were able to just double and triple Khalil Mack all season, and it resulted in Khalil Mack having a down season. You know? It'd be the same thing if you took out edge rushers. If either of the edge rushers for the Rams got injured, Aaron Donald wouldn't be as productive.
Take out T.J. Watt, that defense is not the same.
Right, but at the same clip, take out Cam Hayward
Yeah.
or Bud Dupree, and T.J. Watt isn't as productive.
No, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So it goes hand in hand, but they have enough good individual pass rushers that one attention getter guy would mean the world to that defense. That defense could be, bar none, top 5 in sacks and against the run if they had that defensive piece.
Right.
And I also just don't. They also were a little banged up. Amos was hurt, and so. But I also just I don't think they had the secondary everyone boasted them to have this year.
They're young.
They're young, and they can get beat. And
Well, I think the distinction.
it's very much like, for me, it's very much like New Orleans secondary. They can shine, but the minute they don't, they're like we saw it when we were in Pittsburgh. New Orleans was playing Atlanta. The secondary has showed signs of shining for New Orleans all year long, but they did not shine in the first 2 drives of that Atlanta game.
They try to do too much.
And that's what happens with when you have a young section of any football team, whether it's a young offensive line. The young offensive line is always trying to get to the second level, and then you end up missing somebody on a delayed blitz. A young secondary is always trying to go for the turnover, and that aggressive nature, like you see in so many aggressive corners, while it might work 80% of the time, the 20% of the time it doesn't work, it's usually devastating.
Yeah.
That's why corners like Champ Bailey and Richard Sherman were good for so long. Because, Richard Sherman has a lot of interceptions, but that's just because he's so good at coverage. Same thing with Champ Bailey. Champ Bailey has a good chunk of interceptions, but it was more so because he was always making sure that the guy didn't catch the ball.
And people always like I do a fantasy defensive league.
An elite corner in the NFL for a long period of time is always going to go into every play with the mentality of, I don't care what happens, but my guy's not catching the ball. And then you see the corners like the Tim Jennings from the Chicago Bears, a short-stinted career, and had a very good career for a very short amount of time because he had the intention of every play, I'm going to get the ball. Those guys are short. We talk about it all the time. Interception machine corners are very short-lived in the NFL. The coverage guys, the Charles Tillmans, the Champ Baileys, the Richard Shermans, those guys are the guys that stick around and are relevant for a very long time. Sorry, Kyle, go ahead.
No,
And one more thing. No, go ahead.
So going kind of off you said, in a defensive fantasy league, if you ever played defensive leagues, and you look for the name, like especially for the secondary players, you never want to take the shutdown corners. They don't get you anything because they don't throw to them.
Right.
Like for a long period of time, Jalen Ramsey, I think he's taking a step back, but off that.
But Jalen Ramsey, Carolina Panthers, Josh Norman.
Yeah. First of all, he fell off completely.
Yeah, but New England Patriots, Revis.
And Jets Revis.
Or no, I thought
Both.
wasn't Revis Island a Patriots thing?
No, it was a Jet thing.
Jets second time, it was nothing.
Oh.
But
But I know what you're saying. But I'm saying
Stephon Gilmore.
right, like these guys, like they start to fade off over time because they're not getting the. Yeah.
Not just because he's a Steeler. I'm going to say that now. Joe Hayden has been very productive still. And he's been in the league for 10, 11 years.
Well, because he's. But see, for me, Joe Hayden is neither a shutdown corner or a blanket corner. Joe Hayden's just a good corner. He gets beat, but he also makes great plays. Joe Hayden is a corner that fits really well in a team defense, like the Steelers, where especially once they added Minka Hyde or Minka Fitzpatrick, and they had the pass rush up front. So
that'd be cool if we got Minka Hyde though.
But like I'm saying, like like that type of thing. So
like people take safeties for granted. If you have 2 really good safeties, you ain't getting beat over the top. Like we saw it single-handedly last year, not this past year, the year before. We had Sean Davis and the rookie, fucking getting beat over the top every fucking play.
And then on the flip side of it, which is even more important to the role, having two good safeties is a big deal because you're not going to get beat over the top. But having an elite safety, a coverage safety, allows for so much more on defense. You look at last year's Chicago Bears defense. Elite safety play all season long from Eddie Jackson allowed Adrian Amos to become a blitzing sack safety or a nickel corner at times and things like that. You saw it when the Steelers defense was really good. Both safeties played at elite levels, which allowed either one of them to come down and
Ryan
play.
Clark and Troy Polamalu.
It allowed either one to come down and play on the line. Whoever lined up alongside Ed Reed or Charles Woodson could do whatever the fuck they wanted on that field, and it didn't matter. You could put it in cover one on 4 verticals, and there's a good chance that the team wasn't coming down with a reception.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy because you got guys like Mike Mitchell who's out of the league now, and he's only like 28, but he was never in the right position. He was always just going for the big hit, and you can't do that, especially as a safety. You got to be in the right. You got to have communication. You got to go for the right, and you got to be in the right spot at all times.
What's always blown my mind though is
quick question: how do you end up on this topic?
All right, who cares? We're talking.
Like one thing that's always blown my mind too is like when seeing players like how elite, like going from elite to nothing.
In a matter of a year.
No, not in a matter of a year, in a matter of a location, which blows my mind. Prime example, we're talking about safeties. Jarius Byrd.
Yeah.
Arguably the best safety in the league in his time in Buffalo. Takes 1 foot in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, forgotten about.
Yeah. Who is he?
Who is that guy? You know,
Josh Norman.
well, that's a corner.
We should talk about safety.
Yeah, but Josh Norman's a little different. Josh Norman also went from a team that at the time had a good defense to a team that was non-existent defensively. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you can afford to pick on Josh Norman more because
I don't know why he wanted to go there.
He didn't. He got traded.
Yeah.
I thought he signed.
Got traded.
Oh well, sorry for him.
The fucking loudmouth. The loudmouths are the ones that usually just fall apart.
Yeah.
But
Don't even get me started about Antonio Brown.
you're right, though. It is like one of the most underappreciated positions in all of football is the safety. I mean, having an elite safety is all the difference in the world. Look at the Titans team. They wouldn't be where they are without Kevin Byard, the best safety in the NFL, in my opinion, anyway.
He's in the top 3, in my opinion.
Why? Who's ahead of him?
I don't have a top 3, but I've been saying like he would be in the.
You just don't want to say it because Fitzpatrick.
No.
is safety. No,
I'm sure
I
you
get
know.
it.
I just got to think of him. Like also, we took Bob Sanders for granted. That guy was a fucking machine. He played a lot like Troy, but he didn't have the body for it.
Yeah, he got hurt a lot.
And then when he was on the field, that Colts defense was a top 5 defense in the NFL.
Well, and going to what you guys are saying, a guy who had a lot of promise and has definitely taken a lot of steps back is a guy like Harrison Smith. Great player. He's a good safety, but he could be a lot better.
I don't think he's taking a step back. I just think he was.
No, I think I agree with Kendall. I think he's regressing because Harrison Smith.
Who took a step back was Xavier Rhodes.
Harrison Smith is is a part of that breed, and he's the best of the breed. That's why his name is relevant, and he's still around. But he's part of that breed that tried to mimic the Cam Chancellor game, which was the safety that was really good against the run. The safety that could start 20 yards out from the line of scrimmage and was going to end the running back's day with a fatal blow that was going to cause a turnover. Or was never going to go for the interception, but was going to go for the jaw-breaking hit that was going to force the incompletion. And Harrison Smith's one of those players, but Harrison Smith has been exposed because Harrison Smith doesn't have the lateral movement to keep up with the running backs that he goes up against. And I do agree, but like you see, and then like it's amazing, like the safety. You know, a lot of people just think, oh, like your safety. You know, like of course the one thing you want from your safety is to be what, Kendall? What's the number one thing your safety should be good at?
Tackling.
Because he is
the last line of defense.
He's the safety. But there's so many different makeups of safety. Like, for example, the 2010 to 2013 Chicago Bears defenses were very good. Were Chris Conte and Major Wright good zone coverage safeties? They weren't. They weren't good blitzers, but they were very good man coverage safeties. And they could run a lot of, which is what gave them so much success, was they could run man zone splits, but instead of doing a man zone split, which in traditional, especially if you've ever played Madden, usually if you run a man zone coverage, it's your two safeties are in a deep zone and you're running man, so that if a man gets beat, they have the deep help. Well, Chris Conte and Major Wright were good enough in man coverage that they could put zone coverage in the middle of the field and take away the quick slant routes that you couldn't take this. You didn't know where they were going, so they took the step. They automatically had the half step on you just to catch the ball and fall down. And they had the linebackers and Urlacher and Briggs and company to be able to play those mid-zone defenses that were going to shut those down, and you couldn't get those. So it's obviously it's a product of the system you're playing in. You have to know with what you got, but safeties are super underutilized. I mean, you have two like that defense. You have two safeties that can play really good man coverage. It gives you the ability to scheme up a whole bunch of different defenses that have never been seen.
Like, for example, this year, Derwin James was out for 8 games. He didn't come back the same player that he did last year. It takes a while to get back to form.
Yeah.
But you can tell the big difference in that team from last year to this year without him. They were getting beat over the top. People were just throwing all over him. Where last year, you were afraid to throw the ball.
Yeah. And it's tough to say because we talk about it all the time. It's all hindsight, but perhaps the Chargers have a different year with him healthy. Maybe they make a playoff push. Who knows?
Well, I think that's also the quarterback play, which we'll get to in a minute. I came up with a little thing. If you guys want to do that real quick right now.
It's up to you.
Since we're on the football topic.
Yeah, we can do it. We get football out of the way.
So, I wrote down a bunch of scenarios and everything. I just want to play them out to you guys and see which one you guys think.
Okay.
So it's about the quarterback carousel that we're going to witness. Okay, so we can all agree that on Cincinnati had the one pick. They're going to pick Joe Burrow. Correct?
Yeah.
Andy Dalton's going to walk. Correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Nah.
We could not, but that's just an example.
Sure.
All right. So now I'm going to say a couple of scenarios for the Panthers.
Okay.
In my opinion, I think the Panthers are in a very...
So you're going to give us an area. We're going to pick what we think is most likely.
Yeah, I'm going to give you 2 or 3. Okay? So the Panthers could either, A, keep Cam Newton and try to make that team what it used to be, at least in the offensive standpoint, with a dual-threat quarterback with Christian McCaffrey. They draft a quarterback at 4, whoever, like a Justin Herbert or whoever else is there, or they try to go after a veteran quarterback, like a Dalton or...
Well, real quick, just because you know better than anybody else, until we get closer, I could give 2 fucks about what draft rankings are. What are we looking at for, give me, your Souls' expert, what are the top 5 quarterbacks in order of where they're going to be drafted in the draft?
So it's going to be Joe Burrow 1, which is set in stone.
It's not set in stone.
Herbert, a kid from Oregon.
Deshaun Watson was set in stone to go before Mitch Trubisky.
I don't know all the quarterbacks off the top of my head.
But, what about Tua?
Okay, yeah. Tua, 2.
Tua's 2. So Carolina could get Tua.
Yeah.
Because who's picking 2 and 3? Giants?
Washington and the Giants.
And neither of them are going to...
No, Detroit.
Detroit and the Giants?
Detroit and Washington.
And so neither of them... Well, Detroit could be in the market for a quarterback, too. They're on a complete rebuild.
And I have a David Blau, though.
and I don't say Tua because I don't know how they're going to be on waiting for Tua.
Well, no one's waiting for Tua. They're tanking for Tua. I think if they choose to move on from Cam Newton, I foresee the Panthers more so going the route of maybe bringing in a Marcus Mariota and doing because Kyle Allen definitely was not a star, but he wasn't terrible the whole season. I mean, in lieu of what he had to work with in the time, because obviously a backup quarterback should always be ready to go in, but nobody would be telling you the truth if they said every backup quarterback could go in and make the difference a starting quarterback does. We've seen it time and again. Look at the Packers every time Rodgers has broken his collarbone. Obviously, it makes a big difference. Look at the Steelers this year. The Steelers this year were fighting for a playoff spot till the end. If Ben was in there, probably would have locked one up way earlier. It makes a difference. But I think that the investment in Kyle Allen, unless what you've seen is enough to say this isn't the guy. But I don't think that is enough time. So maybe you go with like a Marcus Mariota, somebody who's going to be hungry to reprove themselves, young, that can compete. And then the reason for that is because, granted, yes, you do need a quarterback to be a successful franchise. At the same time, they need so much that the fourth pick could be a lot more valuable than Tua. And I say that in regards to the fourth pick could very well end up being
a middle linebacker,
multiple other picks as well.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a later first-round pick, a first-round pick next year, and a third-round pick this year for whoever's hungry to get somebody like a Tua or something like that. Because we're seeing a couple quarterbacks that people are going to be hungry, Herbert, Tua, that are going to be hungry to move up, especially if, heaven forbid, the Bengals do decide to go Tua or Herbert. You're going to see a lot of people probably throwing offers out there for Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that you need to do something like that. Bring in like somebody young, like a Mariota,
A younger, experienced guy.
Yeah, somebody who has experience but has the desire to keep proving themselves. Somebody that's going to actually work for the job, not somebody like a Ryan Fitzpatrick. Right? I think Ryan Fitzpatrick, though, is exciting and a fan favorite and yada yada yada. Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's re-signs with teams because he wants to play football and be part of a team.
Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick I don't think he's really vying to be the franchise quarterback for a team anymore because his numbers are up against him. But I think the best move for them is to try to find something to compete in free agency because you're in a rebuild. Even if you get Burrow or Tua, you're not turning the team around to a playoff team next year. You just lost arguably the best middle linebacker in football over the past decade. And you are talking about losing one of the best mobile quarterbacks of all time. You're not winning the NFC South next year, regardless of who you pick it for.
Yeah.
And who knows? I mean, maybe even look within division. Maybe throw money at Bridgewater. He's a free agent this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree. I think the Panthers they've gotten all they can currently out of Cam Newton. I think Cam Newton ends up he reinvents himself and kind of has success elsewhere. I don't know where that is quite yet. But like Ridley said, the Panthers are kind of in no man's land. They're in rebuild. They're not. They're in between. They're not ready to win now, and there's some traces of a Super Bowl NFC champion team there too. It's kind of in between.
The worst thing that could happen to Carolina is Drew Brees leaving the Saints. If like the Saints and Drew Brees decide that Drew Brees isn't the best thing for the Saints anymore, and like they choose to go the Bridgewater route, or even if they do the Taysom Hill, which I think would be stupid, but like if they do something like that, that would be the worst thing because then the Panthers and I think the rest of the NFL and fan bases and analytics and all that would view the NFC South as wide open at that point, which I still think would be very false because Bridgewater proven that he could win. They still have Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara, and they still have a top 15 defense. Yeah. So, really, whoever's quarterbacking is pretty much just a puppet because all you have to do is throw it to Michael Thomas or give it to Alvin Kamara, and you're probably going to win the majority of your games with the rest of the defense doing the rest. So it's not going to be wide open, but I think a lot of people are going to view it as such with the spiraling shit show that's become Atlanta and Tampa Bay. Who knows? But I think if they play their cards right in the next 2 to 3 years, we could be seeing a Carolina-Tampa Bay tussle for the top spot in that division.
Yeah.
But they have to play their cards right, which means not going for the gusto now. And I say that like in the sense that like if you guys get on a roll, if you hit the right pieces and you get on a roll like the Titans did, then good for you. Keep doing it. You want to go out there every week to win. But I'm saying, but don't be stupid and think that drafting Tua is going to make you NFC South champs.
Right. I think the Panthers, because of their draft position, they benefit more from just signing a guy who's serviceable and kind of just, hey, play good football and work off of that rather than, hey, let's make a splash in the draft. So
we'll stick in the NFC South with Tampa Bay.
Nothing we can do. They're unsalvageable. I'm sorry.
You give Jameis Winston the franchise tag for 1 year. You say, prove it.
What's the franchise tag?
It's just like a...
No, I know what it is. What's the dollar amount for him?
Oh. I'm assuming it'd be like
I don't know.
10 to 15.
No, it's more than that. The franchise tag is the average of salaries. It's got to be like, it's probably like in the 20s.
Oh, I have no idea.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I'll look it up. Keep going. Franchise tag is usually it's like the average, and then like it keeps going up the more you do it.
So
Right.
you give them the franchise tag. You say, "This is your prove it year," or they
Good.
go out and they do something else. Like they can go get a Cam Newton or a. I don't think they're trying to rebuild anymore. I think Tampa Bay's in the mode now where they want to win and be competitive.
so
And I think they want a veteran quarterback.
it's interesting because Tampa was in a lot of games this year. And they won. They beat teams that were better than them. Jameis threw for a lot of yards. He threw a lot of touchdowns. He threw a lot of picks. I'm not a believer in Jameis. I'm just not. I don't think he has what it takes. I think Tampa. I don't know. I wouldn't say Tampa's a player away from being a playoff team, but I will say that they are a quarterback away of being a difference maker in the NFC South. If I could say that, I don't know who that quarterback is. Kind of the same deal as Carolina. I think you go find a more traditional quarterback, a guy who just is serviceable, and you got good receivers. Evans is, I guess, presumably a top 10 receiver in this league. Lower top 10, but for receiver, I think they kind of have an up and coming run game. And then the
They do?
No, they're running game pretty much ass.
Well, I guess what I mean by that is that
It can't get worse.
it can't get worse.
Oh, okay, yeah. If that's what you mean by up and comer,
In my opinion, I think Tampa Bay should give Jameis another shot because in this kind of market right now, it's kind of tough.
now, and with the pick they have.
Yeah.
Now, just for fun fact, the estimated at this point in time, we'll know more as we get a little bit more closer, like contract extensions for upcoming free agents and whatnot. The estimated franchise tag for Jameis Winston would be $27 million.
Yuck.
Now,
So this is like
so
shrugs.
this is the problem I'm at, and I've been thinking about this one actually, because I don't hate Jameis Winston. I really don't. It's just
He has talent.
he does. He has talent. He's got gunslinger ability. And he does have vision, but he also makes really stupid mistakes. And
He forces
I think,
a lot of shit.
and I also think that that's a product of not having a run game. I think he would throw a lot less interceptions if he had the ability to,
I agree with that.
well, because like with Mike Evans and
Oh, Cameron Brate you're looking for.
Chris Godwin.
Godwin, with Evans and Godwin, imagine if you could successfully establish a play action game.
I'm glad I mentioned, like another guy like Andy Dalton would fit this team pretty well.
I think Andy Dalton could fit this team pretty well. But again, I think you run into the same issues. It's just with Andy Dalton, the issue is going to be instead of interceptions, it's going to be sacks. Because Andy Dalton doesn't have the mobility and doesn't have the arm strength that Jameis Winston does. So if you're running a deep type of route and due to no run game, they blitz people or play action's not working, Andy Dalton's just going to get sacked. Which, yeah, interceptions take potential points off the game, off the board, but sacks do the same thing. Sacks knock you out of field goal range. They make third down conversions almost nearly impossible. My problem with Jameis Winston is the franchise tag him and prove it. He's had 5 years to prove it. They gave him the 5th year option. That was the prove it year. So what do you do from there? He led the league in passing yards.
I guess my thing is
Passing yards title. Passing yards title. 30 plus touchdowns. 30 interceptions. 30.
Yeah, it's like you single-handedly, neutralize your turnover margin alone.
Yeah.
give him another year of Bruce. See if he can do anything. 'Cause the quarterback class next year is way better than this year.
Here's my thing. If you choose to stick it out with Jameis, you are all in on a run game and secondary. That's it. Beef up the coverage, pass coverage, beef up the run game.
Mm-hmm.
The defensive front seven's not terrible. With good coverage, they could do some damage. We saw it this year. Shaquille Barrett led the league in sacks, right?
And Devin White played pretty well down the stretch.
Yeah. Offensive line, we'll see. I mean, you gotta obviously you can always improve your offensive line, but if you're gonna go the Jameis route, you have to give him something else to work with besides throwing the football all the time. You have to get him somebody to run the ball. We've seen a lot of running backs this year that were not slated to be very good when the year started that boomed. Most starts. Any running back out of
Jones played better than he did last year, but that's not really saying much.
right.
But I think Jones could be a capable running back, but they have two of the same guys. They have Peyton Barber and Ronald Jones with the same type of running back. They need a scat back. Like a Theo Riddick would be perfect there.
But younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you stick it out with Jameis and you invest your chips into a run game. Any other ones before we go to break?
There's going to be two more. This one's very interesting, the Chargers.
Okay.
The Chargers. There's been a lot of rumors about them moving on from Phillip Rivers.
For Drew Brees.
I've heard Drew Brees and I've heard Tom Brady.
Hold on. All right. 120-second discussion.
Okay.
Do we really think Tom Brady's suiting up outside of New England next year?
I think there's a possibility.
What's your chance? What's percentage? Give me a percentage.
60-40 that he stays.
So there's a 40% chance that he leaves.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 years ago, roughly, I predicted he was going to play for Oakland, and I'm going to go back to that saying, for no reason, he's going to just play in Oakland. So,
Well, too bad they're not playing in Oakland next year.
no, but it doesn't matter. He'll tote the black and silver.
And I say that he has potential leaving, because this year he's actually caring about money. Like he's like, all right, give me fucking $25 million.
Well, but there were holes poked in that was more so geared towards if he wasn't to stay, he would ask for the contract that he deserves. I don't know.
You know, I have a hard time. I'm a big
As stagnant as the offense was this year, they made it to the playoffs.
Yep.
What's their backup option?
I don't know.
Marcus Mariota.
There's a part of me that kind of hopes he goes somewhere else just to see what would happen.
Well, cause like, some people were saying like, Belichick thinks he could just plug anybody in, and they'll be successful.
Yeah. Well, to circle back just for a second, is this true? Did Phillip Rivers move his family to Florida? Did that actually happen? I heard that somewhere.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, apparently too. Tom Brady cleared out his suite in Gillette and bought a house in Connecticut, which would be
So, where's he living?
Connecticut.
No, like where?
Oh, with me. I let him move in.
They're friends now.
Yeah, we've always were pen pals.
He agreed to be the quarterback for the Ravens, so he's okay with him now because that means the Patriots suck.
That'd be so annoying. I'd be so mad.
And I say, if he moved to any team,
Is Phil?
I think it's the Chargers.
Is Phil a free agent?
Yes.
I'm not 100% sure.
I'll look it up.
I thought he was. I could be wrong.
But I did hear a thing like Chargers were are thinking about moving on.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I've seen, and we're talking about this Brady thing. I've seen Brady like in every Bleacher Report article wearing a different jersey imaginable. And this part of me is like, yeah, he'll never leave New England, but I want to see it just because.
Here's the thing.
All right. So, with the exception of one that I want to chime in on after. So, you're looking at top quarterback free agents are Tannehill,
Which we all assume is going back to Tennessee.
Breeze, Brady, Phil, Jameis.
So, three big names
Rivers to the Bucks.
aging is. That'd be horrible.
Just another James Winston.
But you make this face.
I don't know. I think it's more so because I just can't picture Phil being anywhere else.
If you're the Chargers, you're either we're in a win now mode or we're in a reset mode. There's no in between.
The only team that I see Phil fitting in,
To me, it's Indianapolis.
See, but I don't think so. I don't think they're going to do anything besides. I don't think they're going to go outside of Brissett. He still has another year. Like, why give him that year with that money? You know what I'm saying? To be a backup. I think they're going to ride it with Brissett next year to know exactly what they have. Because with the Andrew Luck thing, that kind of happened real close to the season, and you kind of
And I think the Colts are kind of like really hoping that Luck is coming back.
Yeah, I think that could be a big part of it too. The only team I really see that could use somebody like Phillip Rivers, that seem really fitting in, would be Tampa, because of Godwin and Evans.
Or Jacksonville.
No,
I know they paid Nick Folk. I'm just saying like, he's another.
No, but I mean, Phillip Rivers has the arm strength for the vertical threats, and he would immediately have a go up and get it guy and a burn the corner guy, and a good tight end. But I mean, then you're banking on Phillip Rivers. I mean, then you're banking on the Chargers not only not re-signing Phillip Rivers, but then the Bucks not re-signing Jameis. And, like, with the quarterback position, you can't play let's wait and see what they do game. Because then you're fucked.
So I said, like, it's either like a win now mode or it's a reset mode. You draft a kid or you sign a 40-year-old. There's no in between.
Yeah.
My team's good enough to win now, but they're also not good enough to win now with a rookie quarterback.
I think we see Phil come back on a short deal.
It's a weird thing because Brady can still play football, he can still win, but it's almost like a lateral move. It's a guy who's
to go out
aging.
and get Breeze or Brady
It's like
instead of Phil. I mean, the only thing you're getting out of them, the only thing you're getting out of Brady versus Phil is the winning mentality.
Rings from other teams.
Yeah, I mean, really, and then bringing in Breeze would just be like like saying, "Hey, we're going to compete with the Chiefs." But you can compete with the Chiefs with Phil. You can't. I mean, they were banged up defensively last year. I don't know. I think we see Phil though.
And then my last one, it's a hypothetical one, and just pretend that he leaves.
Sure.
What if Tom Brady leaves? What is New England gonna do?
Marcus Mariota.
I think they sign somebody.
Marcus Mariota.
I think they'll draft down the road.
Also, Marcus Mariota fits well in the Chargers too.
I think it would be Marcus Mariota though, because Marcus Mariota is definitely more of a plug and play. This is what you do. I'm Bill Belichick. You listen to me.
Yeah,
versus like a Cam Newton or a Phillip Rivers or a Drew Brees who has the experience to go out there and do the whole calling the shots type of thing. Like I think if Belichick is going to start over, Belichick's going to be the mastermind behind it.
Yeah, and I don't think he wants a personality. I think Cam would be too much of a
Yeah, the only person I could see him bringing in, if he were to try to bring in elite talent, would have to be like a Breeze, who's a little less more stale personality wise. Phillip Rivers is a little.
Can you imagine if they just swapped?
You know who else would be pretty good for
the Saints?
Who else would be pretty good in New England would be Teddy Bridgewater.
I think so too, but the Patriots don't employ black quarterbacks. That's why they got rid of Brissett first.
But either way, I think
it's proven.
I don't think they would go the drafting route
Not right
because they're too far. They're too deep in the first round.
They'd have to give up too much to get in.
Yeah.
And they drafted one last year, but I don't think he's ready.
But then again, they could very easily draft somebody in the 6th round.
Yeah.
A Division III quarterback from Montana, and
he'll win 6 with them.
The next 6.
Yeah.
Kendall will cry.
I'm already crying.
So
I didn't say the Dolphins because we kind of already know what's kind of going to happen. What should happen?
Fitzpatrick wins the. Never mind.
Fitzpatrick gets signed, or they keep Fitzpatrick and they draft Tua at 5. That's what should happen, in my opinion.
that'd be awesome if that happened because they still won games but got Tua. Be happy for him.
Oh, New England. Oh, also New England could get Josh Rosen.
That'd be so annoying because
Yeah,
Josh Rosen would be a 40 guy, and I'd be like, son of a bitch. Like I would just be like, because it'd just be like you couldn't do that in Arizona. So here's one. What do you think? What's the financial situation? What do you think happens with Dak?
He stays. He's getting franchise tagged.
I'm saying, is he getting tagged or is he getting paid?
He's getting tagged.
But so is he getting tagged with the what can you do? Let's see what you do next year mentality, or is he getting tagged to delay the pay? Is he getting paid eventually to be the Cowboys quarterback of the future?
I don't think so. I think they tag him to see if he can bring him to a somewhat successful season, not a playoff game.
So if you tag him and if you tag him and he goes, they go 11-5 and lose in the divisional round, on not his fault. Then what do you do? Because this is the dangerous game you play with franchise tagging a quarterback, is that you're going to be paying them upwards of almost $30 million to prove it, essentially. And then if they go out and prove it, now what he's asking for is going to increase. And now you have to make the decision, well, fuck, he did what we asked, and then more. Otherwise, we wouldn't be considering this. Now what do we do?
Yeah.
It's a dangerous game to play with the quarterback.
And it's tough on like a guy like him. Like, if you look at his numbers this year, a lot of it came when they were down by a lot. And I don't think he's going to have the same production next year because I think Mike McCarthy's smart enough to use his best player. But
we're talking Jason Witten.
Yeah.
A lot of fullback dives.
You know, I just think like this is a year where Dak needs to get them to lead the championship run.
I understand what you're saying about the Mike McCarthy thing, but Mike McCarthy is also a coordinator that a coach that loves the deep ball. He loves to let it air, huh?
Dak's not that guy.
But Dak does have a strong enough arm, and he's got a deep threat in Cooper.
I know, but who knows if they can keep Cooper?
They can keep Cooper.
Maybe somebody overpays for him.
Well, no. If you give him the money first and he signs with you, it doesn't matter what anybody else offers him. If you give him what he's asking for, then you're good. But let's say they keep Cooper.
I'm going back to Vegas.
But let's say they keep Cooper though. But they have Cooper and then they have Gallup. That's a good enough offense to air it out. And then you have what has been a very impressively improved upon receiving game by Ezekiel Elliott to be the check down option.
Now, hypothetical, what if they can't keep Cooper and just Gallup?
I mean, he still loves the deep ball, though.
No, I get it, but like, you're getting in another guy, and Cobb's not that guy anymore. So Dak can easily have a very bad year. So it's just like, it's a catch-24. I don't think I said that right.
You're off by two.
Catch-22.
At least I know what I'm saying.
It's not a catch-22, though.
I don't know. I think it's a tricky situation.
Catch-22 would be like you're fucked if you keep him, you're fucked if you don't.
Yeah. I think it's kind of that.
I don't think so.
I don't see them winning with Dak, but I also don't see them getting a better quarterback than Dak.
I think Dak's a good quarterback for that team. I mean, I'm not saying he's never going to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but he's, for the most part, careful with the ball. He definitely toned down his carelessness in terms of fumbles this year. And even if he did have a lot of production when they were down, a lot of that production got him back into games that they were at least competitive in. So, I mean,
I think no matter what, barring injury, if everyone stays healthy, we're going to know what we're going to get with this McCarthy Cowboys team this first season. This first season will be the entire tenure of this relationship, in my opinion. We'll know right off the bat.
Also, we forgot to talk about Garrett real quick. Fuck Mock.
Well, we'll save it for when he's on.
Nope.
No, we have to
He's
let him.
listening.
Well, he might be, but he's got to be here to.
He is going to be such a good coordinator.
So we got to berate him in person.
He really is.
Yeah. Too bad they don't have anything to do though. Like,
just give him the fucking ball, Barkley.
I was just saying, Garrett. What is he going to do?
I mean, but they did that this year.
Kind of.
No, they did it this year, and Barkley like was pretty much like non-existent for like 5 games. He had his big like, "Hey, I'm a running back still" performance at the end of the season.
We'll see what happens. I don't know. I think it's going to be a very interesting offseason.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to break, and then when we come back, the Masked Chris Massey will be with us, and I don't know what the fuck we're going to do in the second hour, if he has a segment ready, but we'll be back in 120 seconds or so, live on the PPRN Radio Network on Spreaker.
It's Flo with a super weird word, nightgown. If you ask me, it sounds less like clothes you wear to bed and more like things you say to your clothes. Good night, capri pants, sleep tight sweaters, nightgown. We've got a big day tomorrow. Now a weird word I just made up, flotection. It sounds like great protection for your new home through me and Progressive, and that's because it is. I said good night, capri pants. Go to sleep.
Save an average of 17% on car insurance when you bundle home and auto through Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
And now, back to Getting Sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by two guys.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Two guys, one cup. Gross. Gross, dude. Is the Mass joining us?
The Mass, we're giving a call right now. Feel free to dance along.
Turn it up.
Right on time. I like it.
Aww.
Oh, I didn't play the
Can you
music.
hang up? No, I think it's only when he calls you.
Oh, is it?
Mass, can you hang up and call Kendall? Mass?
I think he's doing it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, hang up and call Kendall.
Oh, all right.
We want to hear the music.
Yeah. Let it ring for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, Mass.
It is exciting. I do like the music.
I know, I like the music too. Makes me happy. We're all waiting in anticipation. Kyle's like, I don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
I want this over the PS4 music.
Here comes Mass.
Here
Mass is
comes
called.
Mass. Mass is here. Let's call Mass. Mass is here. Hello, Mass. Mass, are you there?
He's there. I hear him.
Christopher.
Hello, Chris?
He's not there.
Yeah. I could have sworn I heard noise.
Yeah, I heard the clicking, I thought.
He is such a bitch.
All right. I hung up with him.
Damn. That just means he's not the call again.
Nope, he just texted us.
Oh, what'd he say? Oh, yeah. There it is. Oh, yeah. The Mass is here. Call us, Mass. You are here. All right, go ahead.
Oh, something went wrong. Mass, come on.
All right, I guess you should just call him at this point. So, Souls, how's that double no filter hashtag quadruple?
Pretty solid.
I can do this forever. I like this song. I don't know why, but it reminds me of like We.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
You there, Chris?
Yes, now I can
The Mass!
You had us on mute, you dick.
hear you. I did not have you guys on mute. I couldn't hear you
Prove
guys.
me wrong.
Well,
I wish I could, Kyle, but I can't.
Yeah, because you're never right.
so Mass,
Yeah.
how was your emergency work meeting?
Wasn't emergency work. It was emergency here.
Emergency home or emergency home, like the thing you're
like the thing I'm on.
Oh,
He's a board of trustee member.
that's right.
Yeah,
He's
that's
the
pretty much
president of
So you
his condo complex.
Sorry.
He gets nothing for it.
No, he doesn't. He's really regretting his life choices currently.
I'd resign. Or scandal. Can you scandal?
Get impeached.
Yeah.
I've been trying, believe me.
Oh, if I make up like those lawn signs for like the presidency, but put them on people's things to say "impeach Mass,"
That'd be so funny. We're gonna
I'll go
smear-
50-50 with you on those.
oh, I'll get a picture of you doing the Nixon hands.
Yeah, run a smear campaign.
So, Mass, are you prepared to do your "Where Are They" segment, or is that something you wanted to do in house?
I would have preferred to have done it in house, but I can do it. I can do it here.
Well, if you want to wait, we can do it next week. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I have the stuff to do it.
If you want, we can continue brackets if you guys want.
Yeah, we can do brackets.
My notebook is in the car.
I got a couple. I mean, let's
Go
see.
get it.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna get it.
Come on.
I can do it off the top of my head.
No, you can't.
No,
don't
you
even-
cancels. Go get it.
First of all, don't tell me what to do. You're not here, you fucking jamoke.
Come on.
That's a little
I could do it from here.
No, you can't. All right, fine. What school did Nick Roach go to?
Nick Roach went to the University of Utah.
No.
Not to lie, he went to Tennessee.
No, he didn't.
Prove me wrong.
All right.
Tennessee is my answer. SEC
Let's
school is always
see.
good.
Oh, Mass, are you looking it up?
Yep.
I more than
Nick
likely
Ro-
it wrong.
Nick Roach went to Northwestern.
That's what I said.
He also went to Milwaukee Lutheran High.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MLK, baby.
That's right.
Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I forgot all about
Yeah.
that. No love for Martin Luther King Sr., though.
Happy Milk Day.
Milk Day. That's dumb.
It's Blind Milk Day.
Just
You know?
love how
No,
Kendall
it's
just
Blind
very
Milk Day.
slowly
It's
moves
milk
by
without
it.
the eye. Get it?
I
You
get
get it?
I get it.
Yeah.
Very punny.
Oh, yeah. Rita's sleeping without pants on.
Yep,
Like the
yep.
hoe that she is.
Here in PPRN studio.
I also don't like that she's wearing a hat that says Daddy's Home. Now, are you Daddy?
Have you seen Daddy's Home?
Yeah, it was a joke.
It's a dumb movie.
It really
The
is.
second one was even dumber.
Yeah, and there's no reason there should have been merchandise made. And she owns it. And it makes
Did you
me
buy
mad.
it?
No, I got it from work. It came in like... we randomly get stuff from like movie theaters. Like,
All right, boring.
But anyway, I got that.
Boring.
Kendall, I think he's trying to tell you it's boring.
Well, it's not interesting.
Kyle, what time is it?
It is 9:47.
Nah, it's edge time.
Oh, that's right.
You dropped the ball.
4 o'clock Pacific time.
Hey, Bobby.
Jesus.
Do you like that? Do you like Team Edge, Mass?
I don't know what Team Edge is.
Oh man,
You should get on it.
we need to get a viewing party. I don't really want anyone to watch it until we can all get together and watch it. I mean, Kyle and I
Wait,
found
Team
it.
Edge, the YouTube Team Edge?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've seen them before.
Yeah. All right, Joe Pesci.
I didn't know. I didn't know if you were talking about like wrestling or something.
Yeah.
Do you want to hang up so you can hear it again?
Nah.
No, we got our fill.
All right.
I mean, if you want to, I'm not going to say no.
Let's just pipe in the Skype music. We just look it up on YouTube.
Bracket break. Ding, 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 ding.
That's pretty good.
The following is a bracket break presented by Riddler.
Live on the PPRN Radio Network. On
Also on
Spreaker.
Spreaker.
Ah, Mass.
Spreading.
You son
You
of a
know,
bitch. All right,
you know,
first one to finish a fifth Asaki wins. Kendall's like, what the fuck?
He's right, you know.
You ever had sake, Kendall?
I don't think I've ever had.
love
That
the-
I can think of.
I'd love to pull a sample of like all the things that we sell at my company and make you just do like a taste test forever.
I'd like that a lot as well.
Would you?
Yeah.
I don't think you would because you're a horrible human being.
Well, be that as it may.
Extra
That's all.
horror.
Fine.
Now, can you pull up the bracket?
I can.
Well, is the can we check? Can we go back to the box score real quick of the other game?
Of course.
Is it over yet?
Uh,
Shut up, Mass.
Oh, all right.
it's
How much time?
6 minutes.
Okay, we'll come back to it. Bracket break. Bring up that bracket, son. All right, so I'm going to start off first with NBA, the best single game performances of the decade, as
right.
voted by me. So I apologize for any listener that's like, oh, well, what about this one? Well, I didn't think it was in the top 8, so it didn't make it.
Yeah.
There's also one bias in here. So suck a sock, motherfuckers. Everybody up in my dick. All up in my dick. Honorable mention. Derrick Rose 50-point game last season as a Minnesota Timberwolf. Touch me in the hot. Touch me in the hot.
Good
It's
moment.
not a single. It's not a top single game performance. A lot of people break 50 points a season, let alone in a decade. But to my hot, right in the feels. All right, number 1, Devin Booker, becoming the 6th player in NBA history to record 70 points in a game. DB 7M point. All right, number 8 versus the number 8 seed. Klay Thompson's record 14 3-pointers in a single game against the Chicago Bulls. Not in my hot. That one's not in my hot.
Definitely not.
Going on to the 4 seed. Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant, dropped 60 points in his retirement game. Versus the number 5 seed, Russell Westbrook, first player to record in 40-plus years to record a 50-point triple-double.
I'm sorry. 40 point.
Yeah, 50 point. 5-0. He became the first player in over 40 years to do it. Nice. All right, moving on. The 3 seed. Draymond Green recording a triple-double with no points. That's right, Mass. You heard that.
Yes, I did.
Mass is like, I don't even know how you could do that. I thought double-double was a penalty, let alone a triple-double. No, Mass, it's double dribble, you dick. Versus number 6 seed, Rajon Rondo, recording a triple-double where he had more rebounds and assists than points. Which, the reason that's so impressive is to get 20 rebounds as a point guard, especially not Russell Westbrook. It's very impressive. Kyle, would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Versus, so we have the number 2 seed, Dwight Howard, recording his 30-30 game, 30 points, 30 rebounds. That was the game after we saw them get spanked by the Sixers live. Versus the number 7 seed, LeBron James' NBA Finals triple-double. Trip-dub. All right, so 1 seed versus 8 seed. Devin Booker 70 points in a game versus Klay Thompson's 14 3-pointers.
70 points because they still lost.
70 points just because he's the 9th player to do it. I mean, I know that he's the first to do 14 threes, but in today's NBA, I would not be surprised if that's broken already this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be broken this year, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like 14 threes, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, that's just something. I mean, he broke it by 1. It's not like he shot 14 threes and the record was 8. You know, the record was 13. I think it was held by like 3 people. I think Kobe's done it. Steph's done it. He broke it by 1. Devin Booker dropped 70 points, which it's just 70 points is wildly impressive from any NBA player.
Yeah, I think it's such a rarity. You got to give it to him.
You're a rarity.
Michael Jordan never had a 70-point game.
Oh,
LeBron's never had a 70-point game.
Yeah.
Actually, the list is pretty much Wilt Chamberlain and LeBron, and Kobe. So I vote Devin Booker. Souls?
Devin Booker.
Devin Booker.
Devin Booker.
All right, next up, the 4 seed, Kobe Bryant's 60-point retirement game versus Russell Westbrook's 50-point triple-double. Now, to those of you who are wondering, what's the significance of that? A triple-double is when you record double-digit stats in any of the 5 statistical categories, which are points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. So he recorded it traditional style, which is points, rebounds, and assists, but he accumulated 10-plus rebounds, and he actually, do I have the stats? Yeah, he had 13 rebounds and 10 assists and 51 points. So when you consider the fact 10 assists, even if every shot was 2 points, that's 20 points. He was responsible for 71 points that night. So it's just like it's not to be taken lightly. What how impressive a 50-point performance is impressive, but to do a 50-point triple double, pretty impressive. So and then Kobe dropped 60 points in his retirement game.
I'm going with Russell Westbrook.
I go with Russell Westbrook too, just because the Lakers had nothing to play for, and so like everybody in the Lakers was kind of just like, here, Kobe, you shoot.
I mean, they didn't knock out the Jazz out of the playoffs, but
they weren't playing for a playoff spot. Like if it was a wildly competitive game and Kobe dropped 60, it'd be a lot different.
I understand what you're saying. And you guys are right, but I just like the Kobe. I mean, that was a lot of fun, so I'm voting for that.
Yeah. Mass?
Westbrook.
You coward! Join me.
Who's going to be the tiebreaker?
Me.
All right, this one's a real boring one. The 6th seed, Rajon Rondo, or as I have on my computer, Ramon Rondo, because of autocorrect. But
he sounds sick.
He recorded a triple-double of 18 points, 17 assists, and 20 rebounds, which, Kyle, how impressive is it for a point guard of Rajon Rondo's stature to get 20 rebounds?
Very impressive.
And how impressive is it to have more assists than points when you have double digits in both?
A lot.
Yep. Versus Draymond Green, who recorded a triple-double without points. Meaning I believe he had double digits in rebounds, assists, and steals, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was 12 rebounds, 10 assists, 10 steals, and they had like 6 points. But that's just so impressive to have double-digit steals in a game. Especially from a power forward.
I'm still going with Rondo.
Care to elaborate?
I was getting it.
You weren't.
I just personally think that like a guy of his side during the year where he got it is very impressive. You know, like,
on a team that still had Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, he was just
and Paul Pierce.
He was a baller.
Shot caller.
Still sound fun.
40-inch blades on the Impala. Holla. Getting laid tonight. You see that Snoop and Trey were in Wallingford?
I did not. I thought they were together. But
yeah, they were in Wallingford at the Oakdale on Friday.
Know that, actually.
Yeah. Did you see that thing I tagged you in? Trying to win one of those bump boxes.
Yeah, the bump box, yeah.
I want one of those bump boxes so bad. All right, anyway, so I'm also going to vote for Ramon Rondo. Mass?
I don't know. Who was it that had the double-digit steals? Was it Rondo?
No, Draymond.
Oh, no. I'll go with Rondo.
All right, no bias there.
Rondo.
All right. Boom. Moving on. Dwight Howard's 30-30 game, which was he recorded 30-plus points, 30-plus rebounds in one game versus LeBron James's finals triple-double, which was 27 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, which 27 points, for a triple-double, we see a lot of times you see people get triple-doubles with like 18, 10, and 10 type of thing. But a triple-double in the finals, I mean, that's, you're balling at your hardest to get that done. Everyone's obviously playing at a much higher level, but I'm going to go with Dwight Howard's 30-30 game. 30 rebounds is fucking insane.
Yeah, I'm going to also watch Dwight Howard 30 for 30.
The 30-30 is just, it's so difficult. I mean, we're never going to see anybody get 55 rebounds in a game, which is what Wilt Chamberlain once did. There's a lot of teams that don't get 55 rebounds in a game, but 30 rebounds it's just extremely impressive to be able
Especially,
to.
like, Dwight Howard wasn't the same guy a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he was the only guy, though, down low for the Hornets.
Oh, yeah.
But to clean up 30 rebounds is a lot. I mean, 30 rebounds is very impressive.
Yeah. I think it's something that you if you've seen it in a lifetime in this era of basketball, I think it's a big deal, so I'm going to go with that.
Well, especially when you're seeing as much athleticism as we're seeing now out of guards and things like that, like the Russell Westbrooks, the James Hardens, the Klay Thompsons, things like that, where like you're seeing a lot of guards getting rebounds, which I'm not saying they're getting 20 rebounds, but if you're moving from the Steve Nashes of the world who are averaging maybe 2 rebounds a game to the Russell Westbrooks who are averaging 8 rebounds a game, it's taking 6 rebounds away from other people. So, which is more than likely going to be your big men.
Yeah.
So I'm also going to vote Howard 30 for 30. All right, so we have the Devin Booker 70-point game versus the Russell Westbrook 50-point triple-double. Kendall?
I'm going to go...
I said Kendall.
Oh.
I'm going to go Devin Booker. I just think that it's a huge undertaking, and I think in this league right now, I think the ball is spread around, but the guys who do score big are, hey, so-and-so scored 45 points, it was a big day. 70 points, that's a huge...
Great FanDuel day, Rico.
That's right.
Mass?
We'll go Devin Booker.
I'm going Russ.
You're going Russ. Any reason?
For them...
Candles go.
For them to win,
fear.
like they were, he had to do that. He had to do that. Like they probably won that game because he did that, and that was the only way they were going to win. So Russ could never take a day off, and I think that just solidified the whole season, where the Sun was kind of just like, all right, we have nothing to just shoot the ball, and they lost.
Yeah, but you know what though? But that happens a lot.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
If you go back and you look through the history of the NBA, a lot of like players, like I'm pretty sure the Bulls never won a game where Jordan dropped 60. Because in games where people are doing that, it means nobody else is contributing anything. So it's hard, even if you're dropping 70, it's hard to outscore an entire team by yourself. I mean, Kobe did it, but the Raptors were really bad then. Really bad. And that was the night he had 81, right? 81. I'm going to give it to Devin Booker. The 70 points is just, again, even if you're just shooting, you have to be on. Like, it's not, you can't be shooting an average day to get 70 points, even if you're throwing up 30 shots.
Well, I think to what you said, too, I think this is the equivalent to that this decade of that Kobe game, the 81 point.
Well, and to Devin Booker, really, at the time, Devin Booker wasn't the superstar. I mean, this game kind of made him a superstar, scorer type of deal. We all knew he could score, and he had a great touch from beyond the arc, but this game kind of really put him on the map. All right, Rajon Rondo's triple-double with impressive rebound numbers versus Dwight Howard's 30-30 game.
Dwight Howard 30 for 30.
I agree.
Yeah, Dwight Howard.
All right, 1-2 seed. Devin Booker 70-point game versus Dwight Howard's 30-30 game.
Dwight Howard 30 for 30.
I agree.
I think there's a better chance we see a 70-point game in this era of basketball than another 30-30.
You are more likely to see 2 70-point games this season than to see another 30 for 30 game, in my opinion. You won't see 2 70-point games, but you're more likely to see it.
Dwight Howard did it for 30.
The winner! Mass, you care to make a useless vote?
I'll go with Devin Booker.
Good for you. Good for you. All right. Dwight Howard, 30.30 rebound game, wins best moment in the decade for GSWD brackets.
So
Clear it. What?
I texted you at the beginning of this. I'm almost certain we've done this bracket already.
Who? What?
I'm pretty sure we did this bracket already, and I'm pretty sure it's the one that I typed when Kendall went upstairs. And I'm pretty sure Devin Booker won it still.
Did he?
I'm almost certain that he did. I'd have to go back and listen, but...
That'd be hilarious. Souls?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I'll go... it was the last one of the... one of the last two of the night. I'll go back and listen, and I'll get back to you guys.
Let's see. I know we... Well, there was best moments in the NHL.
I think we did that one.
We did best moments of NHL. We did best
I
NHL
remember that.
player. We did worst NBA GMs. So
I remember that one.
I don't think we did because I think I had 2. Kendall and I both had 2 left, right?
Yeah, I have 2
I don't think we did, Mass. You can go check at the break, but I don't think we did.
Yeah.
Speaking of having 2 left, Kendall, care to do one?
Yeah, we'll do best commentator / analyst
Across sports.
Yeah, across all sports. So
Mike Emmerich better be on here.
So, like I said, I'm very satisfied with my
Tony
number 1
Romo.
for my 1, and then everything else kind of falls into place after. So, we'll go 8-1. Oh. All right, so number 8, I have the combo of Mike Emmerich and Eddie Olczyk.
At number 8?
At number 8.
Wow.
NBC and NHL. These guys are pretty much, as far as NHL broadcasting goes, best in the business. I think Eddie Olczyk retired from broadcasting. Is that correct?
No, battling cancer.
Oh, okay.
Well, we wish him the best.
Yes, but hockey is is the most difficult sport to commentate. It's funny for a sport that almost doesn't really lend itself that well to being viewed on television. The broadcasters do such an amazing job to make, radio versus TV. They
it's
do
hard
an
to color
amazing job.
commentate a sport that doesn't ever have stopped action,
Right,
or pause action.
And you're following a puck, and it's like to the viewer, you almost don't even know what you're looking at sometimes. But the commentators can paint this picture for you that it's like you're there. They have the toughest job as far as sports broadcasting goes, and I give them a lot of credit. They're only ranked 8 because it's just I don't watch a lot of hockey, but I understand because I respect sports broadcasting so much that they have to be included. So they're the number 8. So we're just going to do Emmerich. Just going to do that just for easy.
That is really bad.
That is very bad.
Still really bad. All right. Anyway, moving on. Number 7.
Number 7, I have Craig Sager. TNT, NBA, beloved sideline commentary member. A lot of great interviews.
Rest in peace.
A lot of good ones with Kevin Garnett.
Yep, known for the
And Greg Popovich.
outlandish suits and ties and what have you.
Steve Nash, too. Steve Nash used to always take his handkerchief and blow his nose with it and put it back in his pocket.
Yeah.
You're going to take this suit right here and you're going to burn it. There ain't no part of it that you can keep.
So, for sure, a goat of that style of sideline.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Yeah, big time.
At number 6.
You want a tearjerker as an NBA fan? Go watch. If you have never seen it, go watch the TNT NBA tribute video they did for Craig Sager.
Yeah, very deserving to be on this list. Number 6, Marv Albert.
God, I hate Marv Albert so much.
Listen, iconic voice, good at what he does, long-standing, one of the longest-standing TNT broadcasts. It's just he's got a great body of work. Not much more to say about it. Just household name for a lot of people. Marv is not how you spell his name. Okay. Number 5, I put Scott Van Pelt from ESPN. He's a guy who's been a longtime SportsCenter guy. He's kind of earned his way up. He does the SVP overnight kind of SportsCenter thing. He does a good job. A guy who interesting to listen to. Yes, I am his doppelganger if I was bald. He's taller than me, I think.
But you're uglier.
Right. Much uglier. I think I got him in most board games. I think he has me in a lot of non-contact sports, but I got him in contact sports for sure.
Not basketball.
Probably not basketball, football, rugby. I got him beat though. But yeah, SVP. I like him. I think he's a very liked person in the ESPN family. Bless you.
Bless you.
Okay, at the number 4. Chris Berman. Chris
I
Berman.
love it.
Chris Berman, long time. He was on ESPN doing Sunday Night Countdown and Monday Night Football for years and years. He ended up stepping away for a little while, but he's back. Yeah, I mean, probably the most recognizable voices for football recap and all that. And he's a fun guy to listen to. Yeah, not much more to be said.
Can you name the most recent Adam Sandler movie he's been in?
Was he in That's My Boy?
He was in The Longest Yard, but, well, it's okay.
I've seen that, but
he was in Grown Ups too.
He was in Grown Ups too?
Was he?
Yeah, he was. Remember the scene where Kevin James's wife walks in on him watching soap operas with his mom? And he's on the TV as one of the soap opera guys. And he's like, "You think you could kill the great Ronaldo?"
Oh. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Kendall.
No, that's okay.
Sorry to derail you there.
Number 4. I'm gonna kick this one. I'm gonna say a quick phrase. You can put it on the board. Yes. Riddler, would you care to?
Oh, Hawk Harrelson?
Yes. Number 3.
He gone.
Mr. Hawk Harrelson, White Sox commentator on WGN, I believe.
There's so many good catchphrases.
Yeah, I mean, as far as baseball goes and having kind of that. There's been a lot of iconic voices in baseball, but
I got a feeling I know who one is.
For capturing, especially a city like Chicago, which is
a dual baseball city.
A dual baseball, and the rivalry it's different than that of a Mets Yankees. It's just different. He's a guy kind of liked on both sides, and he's true to what Chicago baseball is all about, and he's fun to listen to.
He says so many good things too. Every time there's a strikeout, I'd be like, "He gone," and you can put it on the board for a home run. And one of the most underrated ones too, somebody Tim Anderson would hit a double into the gap, bases clearing double, and the score would end up being now it's 3-2, White Sox are now in the lead or whatever. He'd be like, all animated, White Tim Anderson, bases clearing double, whatever, and now the score of the game, 3-2, good guys. So, he'd always have that slight bias edge about it, because for baseball, something more so than basketball, football, or hockey. A lot of times when you're watching baseball, you tend to be watching either a home or away broadcast.
Right. So that's where baseball is kind of unique that way.
Because there can be bias commentating more often than not. So, for him to, but to do it in a nonchalant way like that, just good guys, or he'd be like, and now after that home run, the White Sox only trail by 1, 4-3, bad guys. Stuff like that. It was a very creative way. Yeah. All right, go ahead. Number 2.
Number 2.
Joe Buck.
Favorite of mine. Mets broadcasters from SNY, Gary, Keith, and Ron. In my opinion, the best in baseball. Not just because I'm a Mets fan, They're the most unbiased. Gary Cohen does an amazing job calling baseball games. And the nice part, because Ron Darling has experience.
It is so funny hearing Keith Hernandez talk about the Mets.
It's funny, Keith
He
Hernandez
shits on them more than not.
Keith Hernandez is actually kind of like the weakest link of the three, but he provides kind of the comedic outlet. He's a good commentator, but Gary and Ron definitely carry the broadcast.
Ron's no longer a part of it.
If number one isn't who I think it is, I'm going to be so pissed.
I agree, but I think we have
pissed
different
too.
people. I agree, but I think we have different people.
I think we all three might have different people.
Okay, number one.
Let's all guess, and then Kendall will reveal it. So who do you think it is, Kyle?
Vin Scully.
Okay. Mass?
I hope it's Michaels and Collinsworth.
Collinsworth. It should be Collinsworth. Go ahead.
Mine is Michael's Collinsworth. Vince Scully.
Nice.
He was my number 9. Now, there's a reason, Kyle, because I didn't want it to just be commentators. I wanted to have analysts like TV people who don't call
He's
games.
definitely better than Scott Van Pelt, I can tell you that.
But the point I'm making is that I needed to have some people who were just kind of TV guys that just did like, hey, we're on ESPN, we're on TNT,
Recognizable
doing whatever.
faces.
And that's why I gave Scott Van Pelt and Chris Berman the nod there. Listen,
Riddler, high five.
Vince Scully's body of work is unquestionable. He's just. I'm a big football guy. I've watched football for 15 years, however long it is.
Longer than that.
20 years. I don't even know how long it's been.
You're 26 now, right? 27 in August?
I'll be 27
September,
in August. Yeah. So I was
September.
Yeah. So a very long time. Al Michaels is one of the best in the business across
When
all
he's
sports.
defrosted.
Yes, when he's not. And Chris Collinsworth has really risen to being like the top NFL analyst. He puts in so much work.
Chris Collinsworth is the best, hands down best commentator of football, bar none.
And he's like,
Now here's a guy.
like the pro football focuses and all that. He has a huge part in all that, and like this stat crunching and analyzing all that stuff that we laugh at because the numbers are preposterous. And he's the guy who's in there, grinding out with the workers. The stat guy is trying to.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he's worked his way into. We'll talk about it when it comes time to vote.
They've had such memorable calls too.
Vince Scully did it by himself.
Right, which is a that's what's very amazing. It's very
Anybody can call a baseball game.
But
False.
It's not false. You have so much downtime to talk.
Not by yourself.
Yeah, I could give my whole life story to the fans in 9 innings of baseball. Especially if you're playing a game where there's like an opener.
and
See what happens.
the detriment of
Well, we won't because I'm never going to get a chance to call an MLB game, Kyle. So we're never going to see what happens.
The detriment of Vince Scully, and I say this as his only negative part, is because he broadcasted so long and because he was doing it by himself. When he was older, there was actually a lot of dead air towards the end, just because it is tough.
Is he still commentating?
No, he retired like 3 years ago.
All right, so it's this decade then. So,
A couple years ago, not 3 years. It was like last year.
But
well, is it 3, a couple, or what last year? Because
I think last year was the first year we had. We didn't have
400 numbers.
So, Kyle, here's the deal. What it came down to is it was kind of be Vin or SVP, but I wanted to have more than one person on.
Kyle, Vince Scully retired after 2016. Just saying.
October 2nd, 2016.
Okay.
No, you'll take a shot.
I wanted to have 2 like ESPN guys, like.
Well, that's the whole thing with these things. Like, there's a lot of times we have disagreements and things like that. That's why these brackets. It's an IOP. It's an IYP. In your opinion, type of
Right.
deal. So in Kendall's opinion, if Kendall thinks, in his opinion, he did this, and that's why we're here. Bring the bracket isn't just to do these 8 guys, but you have conversation about other people. So like Vince Scully, for example. In Kendall's eyes, Vince Scully fell off a little bit towards the end, and then retired in 2016. So for this decade, doesn't rank. If we did best of 2000 to 2020, he might have Vince Scully in there.
I mean, if you want to really boil it down, like all
Our brackets next week, 2000s, the entire 2000s so far.
All-time broadcasters, it's like Al Michaels, Vince Scully. I guess you could give the Emmerich a nod of that. Marv Albert. Because these are traditional broadcasters. These are guys who've been doing it, from.
Now here's the question: if Jim Nantz had the same partner, would you have picked him?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't pick Jim Nantz in general. Do I think Jim Nantz is a good broadcaster? To a certain extent, but I think that there's been better NFL commentary along the way. I think Jim Nantz doesn't really lend himself to be a super exciting. He'll give you the facts, but you can get that out of anybody who is a.
Who's ahead of him besides Michaels and Collinsworth?
Well, I would give John Madden a tip of the cap just because he.
For this decade?
No, not for this decade.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I thought we were just talking in general.
No.
Tony Romo.
It's a team, dude. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about teams.
Oh. Well, who's Tony usually paired with?
Tony is Jim Nantz.
Yeah, because Phil Simms isn't.
Because they're the number one.
Oh, that's
CBS
right. They got
group.
rid of Phil Simms. I forgot about that.
Chris
Sims went on a rant about that.
Yeah, they're the CBS crew. Yeah,
it's the number one CBS crew.
Yeah, because Collinsworth's the NBC crew, right?
Yeah.
Who's Troy with?
Joe Buck on Fox.
Joe Buck,
That's the number one Fox crew.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I think that Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are really good together, but I think that they go well together. I just think that Troy Aikman is like a lot. I think Troy Aikman and Jim Nantz would be good together. I think that'd be a good combo. I think Troy Aikman's one of the best, NFL commentators we've had over the past 20 years that has the in-game experience. Like Chris Collinsworth is so good, but not from his player experience, but from his grind of knowledge and grind of research. And that's what makes him so good, though. Because, Chris Collinsworth, granted, he has he's not like these other guys that are just like, hey, we're going to let you know where you fill in. Like, you're just a Fox analysis guy, so you're going to do this game. You might do that game. Like, Collinsworth knows once the schedule comes out, with the exception of a couple schedule changes, flexes, you're going to be calling these 16 games or whatever. So he has a chance to put a research schedule, but his research schedule is fucking impeccable.
Yeah.
The guy does homework on all 106 players, backstories, statistical analysis, where they run better, what routes they have a higher catch percentage on, what zone blitzes the linebackers have higher production on, which safety is more likely to get a sack on a specific defensive play. The homework that he does is fucking insane.
Because we live on the East Coast, too, we actually benefit from seeing the number one CBS and number one Fox broadcasters almost essentially every week, just because that's kind of how the broadcast. And for me, in my opinion, who's watched, not to say that you guys haven't, watched a ton of football, for me, Jim Nantz, whether it was Phil Simms or Tony Romo, and Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, they kind of have the same likability. I'm like, oh, wow, I was really blown away by the Jim Nantz broadcast. Or I was like, oh, wow, Troy Aikman really broke it down.
I was going to say, I think Troy Aikman and Nantz would be an amazing combo, because I think that Troy Aikman's brought down by Joe Buck, and I thought that Nantz was brought down by Phil Simms.
And if you go
Phil Simms has a good commentating voice.
I get blown away by Joe Buck during baseball season.
And I think Joe Buck...
I think it's the voice. I really do, though. I don't get me wrong. He's a knowledgeable guy, but it's just he's got the perfect commentating voice. But the call, was it Randy Moss that mooned the crowd?
Yeah,
that
disgusting act.
Yeah, I'm sorry you had to see that disgusting act on our it's such a good call, but it's the voice for me. Joe Buck doesn't do it.
He is one hell of a baseball announcer.
He is, and
that's why they keep bringing him back for the World
I don't dislike Joe Buck. There's a lot of people who dislike Joe Buck. I don't dislike Joe Buck. I think people
got hair plugs though.
I think people dislike Joe Buck for the wrong reasons. I think they
say he sucks, but you listen to him, he doesn't suck.
Listen, he's a scapegoat. He's the perfect guy to pick on because it's just he's not like a super impressionable guy.
You can tell if an announcer does 2 or 3 different sports, you can really tell what they're most interested in. For example, Chris Berman, he did a lot of Giants games, and he's more into baseball than he is football because of the home run derby.
I agree.
Yeah, and you can tell that he's more of a baseball head than he's a football head. He just got paid more to do the football.
Right, and just because of his likability, that's kind of what, you know. put
And
him
Joe
that-
Buck falls under the same web. I think he's more of a baseball head, but he gets paid more to do football games.
No, I understand.
He's also Fox, so Fox doesn't play out of baseball games.
Right, and the thing is too, and we think of Jim Nantz a lot, and you think
Who does the World Series?
Joe Buck.
No. Like what station?
Fox.
Fox.
It is Fox.
Yeah.
So how is it? How do they get something like that? I mean, another topic for another day. But it's just like it's amazing that like a station that doesn't play a lot of baseball during the season gets the biggest 7 games of the year. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
it's like it's like like. It's not like it'd be like if ESPN got the NBA Finals, like it belongs on ABC. That's where it belongs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The only other station that should get it is TNT. But
Well, it's like the March Madness. True TV never plays a single game.
Yeah.
right.
But like when the
Well,
March
but-
Madness is on, they play.
Well, but that's different though. That's different only because there's so many games going on at the same time.
Yeah, because it's a TNT kind of watered down.
It's like yeah, right. Like, but who gets the Final 4 games?
CBS.
Right, and they air a lot of games.
Only on Saturdays.
But that's the biggest college basketball day of the week. You know what I'm saying? But they air the games. It's like like their ESPN, TNT, and ABC all host NBA playoff games, but ABC has the finals. I think. Do they still have it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same thing with like the only real difference is hockey. NFL we know is on a rotation. It's between CBS, NBC, and Fox. NHL is the only one that's different, but it's still the same. It's NBC. NBC pretty much owns hockey, but it's sometimes it's NBC, sometimes it's NBC
Can I
Sports.
ask you a
Network.
question? Why doesn't ESPN play hockey games?
I don't know.
ESPN has like a huge bias against hockey. I
They
have no idea why.
It's always like like it could be something. Ovechkin could score 10 goals and it would be a blip on. It would be number 10 on top 10.
Yeah, they didn't even show highlights.
Well, they do, but they usually bring in that Barry dude.
Yeah, but it's
Who's
just
close to Lightning, I think.
yeah. It's just it's
It is
quick.
the- it is the
I don't know.
weirdest thing. I would say that ESPN probably shows equal or almost
ESPN's
more
also dying
racing.
in the television market because they only like for baseball they'll show a Monday night game and a Wednesday night game, they'll show a Sunday night game and a Wednesday night game.
The thing about hockey is that like the fan base isn't as big as the other 3 major American sports, but it's equal to, if not more, passionate.
Well, people will watch if it's on ESPN.
People are too confused.
Think so?
I think so. I think people are too confused about. I mean, there's the stereotype like, the wife always asks the husband like, why does the guy just run in the middle where all the guys are? Why doesn't he run outside? And like, yeah, that stereotype holds some water. But for the most part, football has just been such a mainstay across the country that people have a general idea of how it works. But unless you were involved with somebody that had a hockey upbringing, you don't know the rules. I mean. You've been watching more hockey over the past 2 years, and you still ask me why do they do this? Why is this a thing? Hockey has a lot of different rules to it, like icing. Like,
I know that from the video game.
but like, why can't they fling the puck down? Well, it's because it would just be a delay of game. Really, it's they do it so that there's more ice time, more playing time. Things like that. But like, what's the blue paint in front of the goal? Like, what's the difference? Why do they have those lines behind the goal to make the trapezoid? Like things like that. And there's reasons for it, but it's not self-explanatory reasons. Whereas, like in football, it's a little bit more self-explanatory. Like, oh, why can't if Aaron Rodgers throws a 60-yard pass to Devontae Adams, why can't he throw it another 30? Although the XFL, have you seen the rules?
Yeah.
The XFL is allowing one more forward pass past the
Also,
lines.
didn't realize that Oliver Luck was Andrew Luck's dad.
Or no. So in the XFL, one of the rules, we got to do this bracket, but in the XFL, one of the rules that's really awesome that they're implementing, the quarterback can throw a forward screen pass to the running back behind the line of scrimmage, and then he can throw it down the field. You can throw a second forward pass as long as the initial forward pass didn't go beyond the line of scrimmage.
I'm going to try to watch it.
February 8th.
I'm going to try to watch it.
It's going to be cool for the first year, and then I think it's going to kind of disappear.
Well, it depends. It depends on how much money they can continue to dump into
They made
it.
a good point, though. If they brought fantasy into it, people would be all over it.
If they brought fantasy into it, if they bring betting into it, FanDuel, things like that, if that gets involved with it, which honestly I think it will after a year. But the thing is it depends on how much money they're going to want to dump into it for the second year, how much revenue they get in versus how much money they want to dump out. to keep up a national TV sponsor, because that's really what did in the AFL.
Man, I listen to a lot of Pat McAfee. He makes a lot of fucking good points. Pat McAfee. He goes, XFL is going to be will succeed if they bring fantasy into it. And I'm like, you're right.
People pay attention.
Yeah, because it brings that stopgap between February to August and September.
Well, I don't think it's that long. I think it's only like February to like April.
Well,
I think it's like just long enough to get baseball going. It's like that lull where nobody cares about the NBA season anymore until the finals. But all right, so let's do this bracket. So up first is Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth at the 1 seed versus Mike Emmerich and Eddie Olczyk from the NHL at the 8 seed. I mean, like he said with the Vince Scully thing, I mean, this is a big-time disagreement on my end. So...
Do you want to wait to answer yours?
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with Collinsworth just because I know how much work he puts into it by himself. I'm not saying that they don't put a lot of work into it because I know they do. But it's just like I know, like, Collinsworth knows every... From the first man to the 53rd man, Collinsworth can name you everything that he's good at.
Yeah. You know what the problem is in this part of the bracket is that Eddie Olczyk and Mike Emmerich would probably succeed against a lot of matchups here. It's a shame that I just put them at the 8 seed. Like, if they were anywhere else on this, I think there's a really compelling argument to be made. And not that there's not one now. It's just it's a tough.
Kind of in my eyes, there's only one winner in this whole bracket.
Well, we'll see.
And then I'll explain why, but
Right.
that's just my opinion.
So I'm going Michaels and Collinsworth.
Mass?
Am I muted?
No, we're talking to you.
Oh, all right. I will go Michaels and Collinsworth.
Cool, not the vote. Nice.
But I think Riddler, you would agree, if they were if the two of them were faced up against anybody else, we would have a real. It's just an unfortunate seeding.
I just never really heard them together. Besides the video game, that's my problem. That's my fault.
No, I understand.
If I heard them like,
Let's just say, it doesn't matter where they're ranked; they would get bounced before the finals because you guys don't know who they are.
Okay, number 4 versus 5, 2 SPN guys. Chris Berman versus Scott Van Pelt.
Chris Berman.
I think a lot of people.
It's not even close.
I'm taking Chris Berman as well.
Yeah, Chris Berman.
He's done so much for the for the audio of like the home run derby and the football highlights, and
He's an iconic voice
Yeah.
of ESPN.
you know who he is, and he lives in Connecticut.
Yes.
My dad saw him at.
Scanties and Hoiberg. An amazing story. Okay. The 3 versus the 6. Harrelson versus Marv Albert.
Hawk Harrelson. I've grown to respect him after a couple years ago, right before he retired. When I first finally bought the package, I watched a lot of White Sox games because of you, and like I finally was able to listen to like the way he talked, and he's very good. Like not just his knowledge, but like being able to keep the conversation going.
He's also just very good too at creating like. I think he's one of the best in all sports at creating like interest for like a home commentating team, because there are home football commentators and things like that. But he creates like an interest for people watching to come to the park, which is very odd because when you go to the park, you don't hear Hawk Harrelson,
Right.
but like
You know he's there.
Huh? Right. No, but it's like, the way they talk about, like, if you watch Phillies games, the way they talk about the stadium with the food and the things they go about things, like it gives you like this, like, oh man, I should really try to go see that, like this spot. That's what he did a great job at getting people interested in coming to the ballpark.
Yeah. There's actually, and from this decade, there's something, I searched it, I can't remember what I searched, it's something like the top 100 baseball calls of the decade, and he was on there double digits, and it was almost like, it was like 24 out of 100 or something like that. Something, I don't remember what the search term was.
Oh, Mark Burley's perfect game. Mark Burley's perfect game.
Personally, as a baseball fan, I like a lot of commentators that don't have bias. And the three of us that are here, I watch the most. And I'll explain his in a second, but the Phillies, there's no bias involved. I mean, like, obviously, if they hit a home run, they get excited, because that's what you're supposed to do. John Kruk would be the first one to tell you that they fucking suck ass that day.
No, Bob Souls will be the first person to tell you. Because you don't have to. Bob Souls will tell you at 7 a.m. when the game's on at 8.
Yeah.
Bob, Phillies game's on tonight. They're going to fucking lose. Who cares?
Well, he'd be like, all right, Vince Velasquez doesn't have it today. No reason to fucking worry about it. You know, White Sox game, like, he's the first one to be like, all right, this guy doesn't have it. There's no reason to, like, panic. It's over.
Yeah, no, you see it all the time. They bring in a reliever and he'd throw 3 pitches and be like, the guy doesn't have it and they need to make the decision to get him out now.
Like Mass, I don't watch enough Cardinal games because they're usually on the same time the Phillies are, but.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, and like the bias that is involved is the bias that you get from Hawk Harrelson. Like the minuscule thing, like when Hawk Harrelson goes like 5-3 good guys, and then the eruption of joy when a magnificent moment happens.
Yeah.
But like if you go through go listen to the Hawk Harrelson commentary on Paul Konerko's grand slam in the World Series. Go listen to it on Dwayne Weiss's home run robbing catch to save the perfect game for Mark Burley.
Then you got
Mark Burley's perfect game. The Mark Burley flip in foul territory behind the back, or was it behind the back?
Yeah,
the behind the back
between
flip.
the legs.
Was his? Yeah. Cologne was behind the back. But the between the legs flip. I mean, go listen to him.
Because then you got some commentators like the National, and you're just fucking like, oh my god,
We're better than you.
shut up.
Yeah. All right, Hawk Harrelson. Next on.
I'm gonna vote for Hawk Harrelson
No
because
one
I've
cares.
never even heard. All right.
You've never heard of Marv Albert?
Watch a TNT
Well, no,
game.
no. I was gonna say I've never actually heard Hawk Harrelson comment a game, but I've heard just like his highlights, just hearing him say like you can put it on the board and stuff like that. As soon as I heard you say that, I was like, oh shit,
Marv
I know that
Albert
guy.
is very good at what he does, but the level of excitement for basketball and baseball is very different.
Right. It's just one of those things. The number
Next.
2 seed, Gary, Keith, and Ron from SNY versus Craig Sager, NBA. There's an unfortunate bias for me for being a Mets fan and just growing up listening to Gary Cohen and all that. So unfortunately, he's going to have my vote. But I totally understand Craig Sager's impact and his likability and all that. And it's
The thing that's going to keep Craig Sager from winning anything in this, and rest in peace of Craig Sager, he's one of the best to ever do what he does. But what he does is he is a sideline reporter. That's
It's like David Aldridge.
right, but way worse. But I mean, way better.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like the Lisa Salters, the Pam Olivers. They're a sideline reporter. They're somebody that you hear from, that chimes in and out of the game. Like if you watch hockey, like the Pierre, the guy that's down in the booth.
Yep.
It's somebody you hear from in and out during the game that
Chance
gives
the Rapper.
a tidbit of information here or there, and gives some color to break time. And he gave more color than any sideline reporter has ever done, and he is the best sideline reporter we've ever seen. And he stands out, and it's not just the suits. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, working for TNT, he didn't call an NBA Finals game until the end. Right till the end. I think it was his last year. He called the Finals game, Warriors-Cavs. It was the first time he ever did it.
I like to go last on this one, if that's okay.
Why? So you can say Craig Sager when everyone else votes for...
No.
Okay. I'm going to say Craig Sager because I don't watch the Mets, and I don't like the Mets, and I don't like anything the Mets stand for. So there's my vote.
Mass.
I'm gonna vote Craig Sager.
Oh, yes!
About to be a split decision.
No, we're going to give it to Gary, Keith, and Ron.
So, the New York Mets are the only commentating crew I will ever listen over the Philadelphia Phillies. And they are just so good together. And it's just crazy because, like, they've been doing it for probably about 10 to 15 years now.
Yeah,
as a trio. Gary Cohen was just a sideline reporter. Ron Darling was up, but Ron Darling doesn't do a lot of games anymore. He does Fox.
Yeah, he got an odd promotion.
Yeah, so, like, I will sit down and watch a New York Mets game, not because of their talent, because of how these guys talk. I could watch a Mets Brewers game because of the commentators. That's how good they are to me. They like, no bias. They talk about the game. They talk about everything that's going on in the league right at the moment. They don't just sit down and talk about the Mets. They'll be like, all right, well, the Phillies just had this breakout game, and they'll talk about that for a couple minutes and then get back to the action. And to me, that's just awesome. And their chemistry on air is just perfect.
Yeah.
Like, if I had a choice between the Phillies commentators who I love, Tom McCarthy and John Kruk, versus Gary, Keith, and Ron, I'll pick Gary, Keith, and Ron.
Sounds like a really bad sitcom.
Getting married with children.
All right. Let's jump up to the 1
Collinsworth.
versus the 4 seed. Collinsworth versus Michaels Collinsworth versus Chris Berman. Yeah, I guess I'm giving it to Michaels and Collinsworth. I like Chris Berman. Very fun guy. But you need a guy to call a game. For football.
I'm going with Chris Berman. It's not even just like he's not a football. Like he didn't just do football.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And he has actually a very extensive baseball background. And actually, I don't think a lot of people know that.
And it's just like his catchphrases will go on forever. Their sideline reporter, once they retire, I feel they won't be forgotten, but they won't be remembered like Chris Berman. That's just my opinion.
Well, your opinion's wrong.
Okay.
Sorry, Kyle. I love you.
Whoop. And back. It's out of here. Will always be a thing.
Yes.
I did not realize either of those were him, but I absolutely know those phrases.
Exactly.
Mass.
My vote is for Collinsworth and Michael.
Whoop. Stumbling, bumbling. He did that in fucking Longest Yard.
Yep. Riddler, the choice is yours.
Oh, I already voted Collinsworth.
Oh. All right. The number 3 versus number 2, Hawk Harrelson versus Gary, Keith, and Ron. Baseball versus baseball. Like I said, it's gonna be a bias for me. Gary, Keith, and Ron. Yeah.
If Hawk Harrelson had another guy that was with him that was just as good, I would have picked them. But the trio is what I'm picking. Not one of the 3 stand out, but they're so good together.
See, that's what the interesting thing is, because it's like the trio versus one, and it's just it's where do you draw the line of what makes one better, and you can't, because it's the way the game was called is totally different. So it's a tough thing. It's a personal preference. It's just one of those things.
I say Hawk Harrelson.
I also say Hawk Harrelson.
All right. Well, Rebecca's asleep.
Listen, we can want to leave it up to chance. I want to do an online flip.
No, I'll just flip it here.
Flip the book.
Mets. Of course, Atlanta.
Right in the middle. Yeah. So we're gonna combine. Hawk joins the crew.
Never. One more flip. All right, do it again.
What are the chances they did it twice?
They did it a third time.
Right,
Why just rock, paper, scissors this?
We can't flip a book. We've proved it.
All right, hey Siri, flip a coin. Heads is Mets.
Alexa, disregard Siri.
It's tails. Harrelson wins.
Sorry. They're going to lose to Collinsworth anyway, no matter who it was.
Yeah.
So,
That's not true.
Kelly, would you have voted for Collinsworth or Gary, Keith, and Ron? No bias.
I might have voted for
No, who would you have voted for?
I think I would have voted for Michaels and Collinsworth. Because
Right, they would have won.
because football is my favorite sport.
Collinsworth.
That's why.
I vote Collinsworth over Hawk.
I vote Hawk.
I vote Collinsworth.
Why do you hate Collinsworth so much?
I don't.
You just baseball
Fair
over
fact.
everything?
I think baseball announcers are better.
Not all of them.
True, but the ones that are on here are better.
In my opinion, Collinsworth is the greatest sports commentator of the decade.
What's fair?
The amount of work that he puts in for every call.
Actually, have you guys ever heard of Pirates game?
I have, but I don't know
They're
the guy.
fucking terrible.
I don't even know the guy. Yeah, I don't know the guy's
But I'm
name.
saying the amount of work that he puts into every single game, combined with how he translates that into calling a game, combining that with experience, combining that with color, combining that with just knowledge of just the thing, and then and doing all of that he could very easily and encompassingly call a game himself to be able to bounce off of Al Michaels, who has the lead commentator. He's the secondary guy. In hindsight, the former player, the color or the analytic guy, is always second to the color commentator in football. The color commentator is always number one. The Jim Nantz, the Al Michaels, the Joe Buck, they're always number one. It's always Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. It's always Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth, Jim Nantz and Phil Simms. It's always that guy first. Chris Collinsworth could very easily be Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels. But he is so good at having all this to say and finding a way to put it in while letting Al Michaels be the lob it up and hit it out of the park guy. And that, to me, just takes so much talent.
I think out of those three, you can't go wrong with either one.
What, Collinsworth, Harrelson, and Gary, Keith, and Ron?
Yeah.
And Berman.
Yeah. Also, we forgot one guy,
Hmm.
but it's not really a big deal. Bob Uecker. He's still calling games.
Fuck Bob Uecker. Fuck that guy.
Do you know what games he's calling right now?
No.
Brewers.
Fuck him. That old bastard. Can we pick the worst time to piss? Asshole. All right, so that's the end of the brackets because we are really behind schedule. 'Cause we still have to do a whole MLB draft. Mass, are you ready for that? Mass?
Chris?
Massey?
Chris?
Do.
Got any other announcers that you're thinking about?
What?
Any other announcers?
Oh, there he is. Mike Emmer should have been ranked way higher. Just saying.
Anyone that didn't make the list? I think Romo will be on here. Just not yet.
Yeah, he'll end up playing for the Cowboys again. They're just going to keep re-signing. Des Bryant's going to come back. Miles Austin, Cole
He
Beasley.
said that. Like, did you see that? Des Bryant wants to come back as a Cowboy.
Could you imagine?
E
ESPN reportedly offered him a massive fucking deal. Do you think he takes it?
No, because CBS already said they're going to counteroffer anything that ESPN gives.
Yeah, Romo's going to be the CBS guy for life.
They literally said, we can match anything that they give him.
CBS.
I remember Monday Night Football being good. I really do.
Well, here's the
and
thing.
then-
Like, Monday Night Football is now just like every team kind of has to play one. So, like,
No.
you get some shit squads.
What do you mean? No,
Well,
not
when
every
I
team
say
plays a
it
Monday Night
being
Football
good,
game.
I mean like having
have
good
at least some
commentators.
primetime.
When Gruden was on, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
It was good when it was, it was Tirico and Gruden, right?
Yeah.
And then
Like
Tirico started touching girls at ESPN and got kicked out. And then it was Gruden and that
The guy from
fucking
the Sean McDonough.
yeah. And then Gruden left and it went downhill.
Sean McDonough went back to baseball.
Booker McFarland is terrible.
He's fucking awful.
He's so bad.
The memes are
Boogermobile.
the memes are hilarious.
Like, honestly, ESPN should just like stop fucking overthinking it.
Well, if Derrick Henry rushes for 4 yards on the second and third, they're going to pick up a first down.
It's like, oh god.
Well, the reason the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl is because they scored more points than the Titans.
Like, you just gotta get guys with personality. Like, Antonio Brown would be great.
No, that's too much personality. Beat every one of these people on here. Ben's a dick.
They all eat dicks.
This is a Cardinals 49ers game. Yeah, Ben's an asshole.
But, like, how do you want to get into it?
You're the one that brought it up.
I didn't bring up Ben. I mean, Brown. I just said
You
he'd be.
did bring up Brown.
I just said he'd be good for commentary.
Yeah,
you
well,
brought it up.
yeah, you can't you bring up Brown and expect everyone to just be like cool to like nobody say anything about the Steelers.
Dude, he's got to have something wrong up there.
Yeah, CTE, no brain at all,
Like,
fighting homosexuality, because I think that might
Do you
be
think,
a real thing for him.
Do you think Vontez Burfict should be legally responsible for paying all his bail?
no. Dude, there's got to be more to it.
I don't know.
I don't know if the Steelers, like, covered it up for such a long time.
I keep seeing these things that like Mike Tomlin should be inducted into the Hall of Fame for dealing with Antonio Brown for as long as he did. And it's like, that's not how that works. He'll get his time, but it's not now. All right, Matt, are you ready to do this baseball fantasy draft? Did you do your homework?
Nope.
All right.
So he's picking Joe Mauer.
Good thing I'm not here to help you this time.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Let me actually pull something up real quick. Let's go to break.
No, we're not going to a break. We went too long. So, real quick, we did the fantasy basketball, and the scoring was a little abnormal, but we did it. We all came to an agreement. But so for fantasy basketball, coming in last place was Maxine Washable. Oh, sorry. For the NBA, yeah. Coming in last place was Maxine Washable. In fourth place was the Red Baron, Kendall Reed.
Right.
In third place was the Mass, Chris Massey. In second place was Kyle Souls. And in first place was the Riddler. So
It would have been flip-flopped if I got LeBron.
yeah, or if it would have been flip-flop if I didn't get LeBron. So moving into total standings so far, the way the standings are sitting, based off of wins type of deal, and like where you finished. So I'm currently sitting in first place with 2 first-place victories. In second is Souls with a second and a third. In third place is the Rat Baron with a second and a fourth. In fourth place is the Mass with a third and a last. And in last place is Mock with a last and a fourth. So remember, at the end of this is a disgusting, gross shot because it's fantasy. So,
Take him in the corner.
Hooray.
well, Mass, you're not in last.
I'll take it.
There you go. Oh, look, Ezekiel Elliott's talking about the New Orleans police. I knew you'd get a chuckle out of somebody. So we're going to do fantasy baseball now. So fantasy baseball, the roster, the way we're going to do it is we're going to do one position at every position on the defensive side of the diamond. So first, second, third, short. 3 outfielders. We're not going to do the whole like right fielder, center field. It's 3 outfielders. A catcher. We're going to do 3 starting pitchers, 2 relief pitchers, and a closer, and then 1 utility guy. Now, Maxine Washable chose to go to Mississippi, so he's not here. So he gets auto-drafted at the end.
Yeah, we give him the best player available. Which is fair.
I'm going to move slow.
No, you're not.
Fair warning.
God, please, Matt, get the first pick.
Why?
I don't know. I'm going to fuck it up.
Nah, the only
Probably.
problem is I can't find this thing that Kyle was talking about. With the... Never mind.
So what position are we doing first?
Well, you guys want to take like a quick 1-minute break so Mass can get his bearings together a little bit?
No, fuck him. He had a week to figure it out.
I know, but I understand that.
Souls is right.
No, it's less about you having a better chance at picking better guys as much as it is about you not stumbling for 5 minutes every pick on the radio.
I'm not going to stumble for 5 minutes. I'll stumble for 30 seconds.
Sounds good. All right. So then let's go. So do you have the random generator? Oh, a quick shout out to Kemba Walker. 1-28 against LeBron. He finally beat LeBron. It only took joining the Celtics to do it. So how do you guys want to do this? Do you want to include Mock into the generator, or do you want to he'll just be last for everything?
We can include him, and then we'll all decide together who he gets.
All right.
Okay.
Wait.
Does he get auto included to the last pick?
Like, should he get the last pick for, like, all these positions where you're only drafting 1? Like, first,
Yeah.
second, third?
Uh,
Nah, we'll just fuck it. We'll keep it fair.
yeah.
It's not his fault he's not here. He couldn't really say no to... All right, so for first... We're going to start with first base?
Start with starting pitchers.
Thursday start with third base. Like, why?
You want to start with pitchers?
Yeah, we get the pitchers out of the way.
Okay.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah, so there's 3 of these.
Yep, and randomize.
Matt's got the first
Damn it,
fucking
Matt.
pick.
God damn it.
I'm so mad.
It's just so easy to pick.
All right, Mass,
Where am I, Kendall?
you're on the clock.
I'm
You're
torn. Give me Kershaw.
Yeah,
No.
we just should be.
Okay. Mock. So what do we agree on for Mock?
Best available.
Nope.
God, he's not going to fall to you.
No, I know.
Uh,
Let's give Mock Zach Greinke. You guys agree with that?
we can do that. Unless somebody wanted him.
No, I'm just picking a guy.
Do you want to list some names real
No,
quick?
no. Let's really piss him off. Let's give him Dave Price.
Oh, listen, we can't screw the guy over.
Right, number 8 on this list.
Are we giving him best available, or are we not?
Well,
All right. We'll give him best available.
All right, so Verlander.
Verlander.
All right, so Red Baron.
okay, homer pick, but I'm taking Jacob deGrom.
Well, that fucking throws me off. Who do I want? All right. I'm picking Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
All right, so I got back-to-backs.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go... I don't know.
Come on, I even picked faster than this, and I had the list ready.
Yeah, but I have back-to-back picks, so it's different.
Hey, Mass, you had the first pick. If you didn't
Yeah,
pick
you had the first
Kershaw-
pick. If you didn't fucking pick Kershaw, you dumbass.
Yeah, I would have fucked you up.
All right, I'll go with... see, the thing is, like, I don't want Kyle to get Cole Hamels.
That's fine.
So take him.
You wouldn't take Cole Hamels?
No.
That's not who you're taking? All right. I'm going to take... Nah, it's fine. I'll take Sale and Bumgarner.
Damn. I was hoping Bumgarner was going to kind of go under the radar.
Well,
Taking Cole Hamels now?
I'm taking Zach Greinke.
Oh, okay.
Taking the smart choice here.
Cole Hamels has better stats over the decade, just saying.
Yeah, we need more strikeouts. And more home runs.
So is it Greinke?
Yeah.
Gundle.
I'm going to take...
His hair still looks great.
Come on.
All right, I'm going to take... I'll take Cole Hamels.
All right. So, best available for Mock, which is David Price.
Yep. I think we're going to have the same list.
Come on, Mass. You got back-to-back, bitch.
I will take Strasburg. And Corey Kluber.
Why? Why would you do that?
Okay.
I'm more mad he didn't fall to me at the end.
So, best available for Mock would be Lester?
Yeah. Paul, we're definitely looking at the same list. Is your next honorable mentions?
Yep.
Yep.
Are you on MLB.com?
I am.
Is it me?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, well, according to 2015, the best guy, and, he kind of,
Just pick.
tailed off towards the end, but King Felix.
Let me tell you something. That's going to kill you at the end.
You know what? It will, but there's a chance that I did succeed early.
Is first base next?
All right, Kyle, you're up.
Yes, no?
What? Is
We got to
Hold
randomize,
on.
right?
I'm trying to think. It's either A or B. I think you're going with either the other A or B.
I don't know what B is.
I'm going with Jake Arrieta.
Okay.
He was so good for a while.
Yeah.
I almost picked him.
I don't want to take Johnny Cueto.
Yeah, I know that's exactly who B was. You can pick R.A. Dickey.
I don't want any of the other guys on this list.
Listen, don't pick R.A.
Let me tell you something. The guy that I wanted Mass picked very early.
Kluber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can take
Was that a bad decision?
No.
All right.
I mean, like, for where you were, yeah.
You can take Sam Mendoza.
He could, but he's not dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good.
He giving up 44 home runs. It's not good.
A game. 44
Yeah,
games.
is first base next?
Probably relief pitchers, Maz.
Okay.
I was thinking, I'm so torn because I'm thinking it's not like there's just few guys that were so dominant over the course of the decade. Like I was thinking like you Darvish had some good stints.
Baseball is very tough to do.
Like Garrett Cole was so good at the end. You know, this is a name that I'm going based off. I can't remember. Is Kenley Jansen a starter?
No.
That's what I thought. No, that fucked me for the next one. No. I don't know. Which one should I go with? Cueto or Dickey?
Well, if you want my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
if you pick Dickey, you're not getting many years out of him.
But they're better years.
Kind of, not really.
You pick James Shields. He's been healthy.
No, he hasn't. He also picked Gio.
You could.
I don't know if I want to.
Just pick Cueto.
I don't want to pick.
And pick Dickey.
I don't want to pick him either.
He's a knuckleballer.
What about Adam Wainwright?
You can pick him. He's good.
Or CeCe?
No.
I said no.
He's kind of trash. I
All
fucking
right.
hate him.
I'll take Cueto.
I only hate him because he went to the Yankees.
All right, on to relief pitchers.
We will let you know if it's a relief pitcher or a closer.
Yeah. All right, Kendall, you're up first.
Who's
Oh
second?
no.
All right. Sorry, this is probably the more difficult position to pick.
Who's second? Am I last?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
So, Kyle,
What am I picking?
Relief pitchers.
Kyle, are we in
No,
agreement?
no, no. What position?
Relief pitchers.
Asshole, like 1 through 5.
Oh, you're picking third.
Okay,
Oh.
thank you. How many are we picking?
Two.
All right.
So, what is our opinion of Aroldis Chapman?
He's
Closer.
a closer.
I mean, he did for early on.
He's a closer.
I know. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to. You know what I'm trying to say.
No, I don't.
Listen, early on, he had a couple of.
Yeah,
before he
for
was
14 games, he was a relief pitcher.
but it was a good 14 games. All right.
Got time.
Oh my God.
I'm getting shafted right now.
This is gonna be a terrible first pick for me. All right, I'm gonna take Steve Cishek for $6.
Kyle's face. How do you spell that?
Cishek.
Oh, okay, so I'm up next, right?
Yeah.
Kenley Jansen's a closer, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
What about Wade Davis?
Closer?
This is terrible. Can I just auto draft this?
You shut up.
Kyle, the problem is all these relief pitchers are closers, according to 2015. They have Craig Kimbrell listed as a long reliever.
Zach Britton?
I'll give it to him.
Right, I'm taking Zach Britton.
Jesus.
Right now, he's more of a relief pitcher. Mass, you're up.
Is Andrew Miller a relief pitcher?
Yup.
I'll go ahead and take Andrew Miller.
Who's Mock taking?
We could give him the guy that's played for every team this decade, Fernando Rodney.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
Now, I'm going to plead my case. And I'm
I
going
vote
Wait, so you
that
just shit
I-
on everybody saying they're closers,
Yeah.
and now you're going to beg us to make them a relief
Well,
pitcher?
no. I'm going to plead my case and why.
Oh, okay, all right.
David Robertson. He's
Can I say no?
pitched more games in the setup than he has a closer. Fair?
Yeah, I mean, if you want a nickel and dime it, yeah.
So, I mean,
He's not a closer for the Phillies either.
All right.
Yes. All right.
It just means you go last on closers, no matter what.
What? Oh, Dylan Betances.
He
God
sucks.
damn it.
Yeah, he fell. I
Actually,
was really excited for that.
well, I was going to pick him.
Well, the
but
problem is like all the lists I found like to go off of because I'm not Kyle with baseball, but all the lists they don't separate them between relief
No,
like
they don't.
and closers. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't. It's all everything's like closers.
So that's the reason I didn't pick Dylan Betances first, because he's closed some games. I'm looking for
But
just
he's a setup man.
but that's the,
Dude, everybody's closed some games.
not your crappy relievers.
It's not true. Juan Acacia had like 13 saves.
So I'm looking for a bona fide just reliever.
Yeah, there's a guy that you love that's a bona fide reliever. And I'll give you a hint. If anybody takes him, it's not my fault.
There's a guy I really want. So who are we giving the mock? God, there's a guy I really want.
Give him Darren O'Day.
How do you spell it? O-D-A-Y?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kendall.
Yes.
No, it's Masterson.
I know. Your hint is mustache.
Oh. Mass.
Yeah, that doesn't help me, so don't worry about that.
Like, my opinion of a reliever to a closer is a guy that...
Yeah. Mass, I'll trade you this pick for my pick, and I'll buy you one burger of your choice at a fast food restaurant next time you're here.
Sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me.
Just because I'm too afraid he's going to look at like a list and take the guy I want.
I'll tell you what.
No, just pick. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I'll tell you what.
No, we're not doing
Burger, but who do you want so I don't take them?
No, I'm not doing that. Just pick somebody.
Well, go ahead and take the pick.
No, just pick somebody.
I
Take Mariano Rivera. He was not a closer. Take John Axford.
Wade Davis?
You just said he was a closer guy.
Did we? All right.
Take Mark Melancon.
Fernando Rodney?
He's already taken.
All right. David Robertson?
Already taken. Take Mark Melancon.
Greg Holland?
Take Mark Melancon. Greg Holland's a closer.
Tyler Clippard?
That I'll give you.
All right. We'll take that.
That's what I wanted to avoid. He just ran down MLB's 10 best relief pitchers on. I actually researched the relief pitchers because there was no good list, and he was on my list, and now I don't get him.
I offered to trade.
Now I don't know who I want.
I want Mark Moyanson.
No, I don't. I want him sucked.
All right. So now we got to go closers.
Yeah,
Whatever.
read the same list, kid.
Was that? Oh, Melancon?
Melanson.
Oh, I have him on my list. I thought it was Melancon. All right, I'm going to take Melancon. All right, Kendall.
So I'm going to boy from the Brewers. The guy who handles the axe.
That's right.
John Axford. And also, I'd like to have an additional, just for me. Addison Reed, can I have him?
No.
Come on.
I'll
He was
make you a
good
deal.
for like 2 years.
I'll make you a deal. You can have him, but you only get the negative stats.
All right, deal.
All right,
There's a lot of
closers.
them.
Yes.
Last
Closers.
couple years have been rough.
Closers.
Closers and Paul.
Kendall, where's my name?
Year 4.
Can you read off the order?
You have the second pick.
Cool.
I haven't got anything past 4.
That was me all the NBA draft. The highest pick I had was 3.
Oh, no. Who's first? Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 2 guys I want are going to go.
I'm going to go with Kimbrel.
That's a good choice.
That's a good choice.
Kenley Jansen available?
Yeah, he's available. That's
Go ahead,
also
take him.
not a bad choice.
Kendall.
I'm taking a roll this.
Son of a bitch.
How many of these are we picking?
Just one.
Just one.
All right.
All right, Kyle, you're up.
Yeah. I know.
I like it when Kyle's sad.
Take Wade Davis.
It might have to be my choice.
Well, you already got
What
David
a
Robertson.
rough
How
year
many,
he had
how many
last year,
closers
though.
do you want?
What a rough year. Wade Davis.
Or Greg Holland?
Yeah, Wade Davis.
Here's
Yeah,
that Britton.
fuck.
So
rough.
do we? What do we do? Do we give Mock the next best in Greg Holland, or do we give him Mariano as a?
Can I
homer
give
pick?
him K-Rod?
Yeah, we'll give it Mariano.
Give him Mariano. He only got 3 years under his belt this decade.
And you know what? He probably would have picked him anyway.
Did he
Yeah.
retire in 2013?
Yeah.
It was that long ago?
Yeah. We can give him Posada, too.
Really fuck him. All right, so let's go to first baseman.
All right.
Everybody get
This
your
can't get any
MLB.com
worse.
list ready.
I got shafted out of that one.
Mass.
How many?
Mass, you're first. Just one.
From one first baseman, Mass, and you're first.
Where's Kyle? 2.
Just pick Joey Votto, Mass.
All right, Joey Votto.
Oh, man, which one do I want?
Well, I know that the guy I want isn't getting past Kendall, so
Fierce typing from the Mass.
Miguel Cabrera.
okay.
Got to get to second baseman.
Baron.
I'm gonna
Oh
take
my
my,
God, I forgot he was still in the league.
I'm gonna take my boy Paul Goldschmidt.
You dick.
He's a Jew.
All right.
Tell you, those 2 years I had Miguel for, it's gonna fucking be great.
Enjoy.
She's like, I want to take Freddie Freeman, but he didn't start off the decade hot.
But he finished off the decade pretty good.
I know, but he didn't start it off hot.
I wish I could help you, but I went to second baseman pretty fast. I gotta be there for Michael.
I guess the problem is like I'm thinking about like Rizzo, but I can't remember how bad he was. Like I remember when the Cubs lost 100 games in like 2012 or 11, but I don't remember how good Rizzo was.
Bless you. He was decent. Bless you.
Well, here's the deal: you guys should help me out because there's no one else is getting these. I guess utility guy, right?
None of these guys played more than 3 positions.
All right. So who should I take? Rizzo, Freeman, Pujols, or Mauer?
Pool house.
Freeman.
Got it.
Freeman.
All right, I'm taking Rizzo. No, I'll take Freddie Freeman.
Mox up.
Yep.
Give him Pujols. And we'll give him Carlos Santana.
No, you only get one first baseman.
Oh. Give him Pujols.
Oh.
All right, randomize it, Kendall.
Can I be first?
Nope, Kendall's first.
Am I
Read
second?
off the order.
You are second.
Yes!
All right, I'm gonna take Joe's Altuve.
That's fine. I'm taking Robinson Cano.
Gross.
He was so
Who-
good, Kendall.
He
All right,
was
What was it?
I'm up.
for
what number
3
am I?
years.
Nash, you're fifth.
Oh, great.
I'm going to take Ian Kinsler.
Mox up.
Yeah.
You could have a favorite second baseman of all time.
Pedroia.
Yep.
Very appropriate.
I'll take Zobrist.
And just like that, MLB.com's top 5 second basemen are off the board. All right, third baseman. Randomize that shit.
Oh, going to third.
All right, I'm up first.
Read off the order, please.
Paul, Kyle, Reed, Mock Mass.
I got second again?
You got fifth again?
That's fucking dope.
Did you actually hit the randomizer?
I did.
I'm trying to think.
Trying to find the list other than MLB.
No. I'm thinking between two players. I'll take Adrian Beltre. This is where Kyle throws up because he knows he wants Arenado, but he's really torn about taking Donaldson. Kyle's throwing up inside because he doesn't want Donaldson, but he wants Arenado, but Donaldson was a unit this decade.
Played all 9 years.
Who?
Donaldson.
I know, and he was like MVP caliber for like 4 of them.
And Arenado's just been so good. Give me Josh.
All right.
I'm going to take Arenado.
It's a good pick, Ken.
Kyle, we were in the same boat. You picked him where I was picking him.
All right, so Mock's up next for best. So you think Longoria?
Yep, that's fine.
Or Machado?
Machado.
Machado's funnier.
Oh, sorry. Mockado.
Ooh.
Ah, look
All
at
right,
that.
Mass.
Longoria.
Okay.
Randomize that
Longoria.
shit, Kendall. We're on short stops.
We're just giving Mock Derek Jeter, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
My first.
Randomize it.
Kyle, you're first.
No,
This
you
is the one I
randomize
didn't
it.
want.
Huh?
You have to randomize it 3 times so Kyle doesn't get first.
Oh, you're right.
I'm okay with that for this one.
Oh, just take him. Mass, you're last, by the way.
Yay. 3 5s in a row.
Don't worry, we didn't give you players that haven't played all day. do, do, do. Do, do, do.
Son of a
Do,
bitch.
do, do.
Fucking falls off so bad. All right.
Who you taking?
Guess I'm taking Elvis Andrews.
All right.
Yeah, it's tough. This is a tough position to pick.
Okay.
Um,
Are you taking Andrelton Simmons? Kendall?
I am not.
Take him. Take him, please. Please. Because I can have influence in who Mock picks. I can't have influence in who you pick.
God, I don't even know who I want.
I think you want Simmons.
Just take him. Come on. Andrelton Simmons. Andrelton Simmons.
Just remember, he also has full control over your bachelor party and stag.
Yeah, don't use that against me.
He's not using it against you. I am.
Listen, I'll pick a garbage guy that won't even affect you or anybody.
Okay.
I'll pick my favorite player of all time, Jose Reyes.
So
That's
you
who he
gonna take?
wanted.
That's what I want.
Gross.
But listen, I'll have a good 3 years of the early.
All right. Who? So we're giving Simmons to Mock? All right.
Who is it that you wanted so badly, Riddler?
Short Troy Tulowitzki. Always
Well,
been-
you're going to have a good couple years, then a lot of hurt years, then another good year, then a lot of other hurt years.
okay.
All right, so what does me better than Mock in this one? Crawford, Lindor, anybody?
So Lindor has only played half the decade, and
Yeah, I
Brandon
know.
Crawford has only been consistent for half the decade. You could really go homer-wise and pick Gene Segura.
Every stat counts, Mass.
I'll go with Gene Segura.
Not bad, I guess. I like him. He's our second baseman.
All right, outfielders.
Please give me number one.
Are we doing just outfielders, or
got
are we
last.
specifying?
Nah, do that one again because we don't want Mock to. All
We
right.
don't want him to get Trout.
I got 4.
I don't have to be first. It just I wanted Mock to be last.
Can we do it again?
So,
All right, whatever. I'm fine.
how many outfielders are we doing?
3.
What position am I picking in?
Second.
5.
No, you're second.
All right.
So we're ready to go.
Yep.
This one's really tough. But I'm gonna. Kendall's laughing. I'm gonna go with Mike Trout.
Homer.
Waste pick right there.
He said Homer. Yeah, you know me and Danny Glover been hanging out a lot down at the facilities. Mass, who you taking?
Give me 1 second to take a look at this.
Mass
here.
is struggling because I know what he did. He didn't go to the right list on this one. He's looking at the MLB.com left fielders, center fielders, and right fielders list, and he's bouncing back and forth, being like, which one of these names do I know?
That's exactly what's happening right now.
Just take them.
I don't know which one to take.
All of them.
Yeah.
Who's the top for left field right now? Was Trout left field?
It's any outfielder.
That's not a left fielder.
It's any outfield. You can pick 3 center fielders. You can pick 3 right fielders. It just has to be an outfielder.
All right, I'll take Stan. Why not?
Okay.
Oh, we didn't do catchers yet, did we?
No.
No, we didn't.
Took
If anybody takes him,
Dixon. Well, I mean,
God.
I get it, but like, fuck you.
why? Because you wanted him?
Yeah. A 2?
That's okay. If it makes you feel any better, I gotta wait to get
I know who
back.
I'm taking. Who's next?
I know who you're taking too.
I'm next.
Yeah.
I know I'm taking right after that too.
Kendall.
I'm going to take Andrew McCutcheon.
I was gonna tell him to do it as a joke. He did it.
The mad lad.
Listen, he played the majority of the decade.
Yeah, I get it.
He also is solely responsible for the Phillies being terrible last year. They weren't terrible, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean, Kyle, right?
Yeah. Hold on.
Well, if you're going off the list I still have up on my screen, Clayton Kershaw's available.
Yeah. Give me Bryce Harper.
Nice.
Homer.
Yeah.
Oh, Kyle, I actually wrote McCutcheon in your slot.
Did you?
Yeah. Kendall, would you care to trade Bryce Harper for McCutcheon so I don't have to cross things out?
Nah, you should cross him out. Sorry. It's not you, it's Kyle.
I'm only saying Bryce Harper because he played 8 years.
All right, Kendall and Kyle. You guys can combine. Who are we giving mock?
Jose Bautista.
You know what? I knew you were going to say that. I don't know why.
Are we really giving him Bautista?
I mean,
No, we should give him Ryan Braun.
I mean, Bautista was kind of good.
We can do Ryan Braun.
That's a Braun.
Yeah.
Braun and Batista?
We're doing Braun and Bautista?
Give
Kyle.
him Braun and Yelich.
Braun and Batista?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, back to you, Kyle.
Yep.
If he's still there when we get back to mock, I'm not saying I'm not saying to somebody don't take him. If you want him, take him. But obviously, we have to give him Mookie Betts, right? If he's still there when he gets because he's
not
a
gonna make it that far. So hold on.
I know. I'm saying he's a Red Sox fan. We all know it.
No secret.
Give me Mookie Betts.
Is that really who you want? Yeah. All right.
Were the Red Sox have the 2 outfielders?
Kendall.
I'm going to take Carlos Gomez.
Ew.
He was pretty good.
Ew.
Mass, you're up.
I know exactly who I'm taking, but he probably gonna get picked.
Did Upton get taken yet?
Which one?
Yeah,
Justin Upton?
Yeah, you got taken.
Did he?
All right, I'll take Justin Upton.
All right, I'm taking.
You can take his brother Mel.
No, I'm taking Kate. I'm thinking. If we're doing defensive stats, I'm taking Jason Hayward.
Don't do it if you're taking just offense.
Huh?
His offense numbers are pretty terrible.
I know.
Yoenis Cespedes is always a good choice.
Is he though?
Yeah, Mass, I'd actually pick him if you have the opportunity.
All right, I'm gonna take Yelich and Lorenzo Cain. Mass, you're up.
I know.
Mass, just take Nick Markakis. Kendall's boy is still there. Are you going to pick him, Kendall?
Yeah,
You are?
I think so.
I'm going to write him in. Hopefully we're talking about the same guy.
Actually, I don't know if we are.
Oh, I meant it when I said your boy. He might not be on your list of best outfielders for the 2015 season, but
You know what?
That's the only list I got.
I'm gonna take it. He's down the board, but I'm gonna take it. Give me a Holiday.
okay, Kendall.
Who's on your list?
Jay Bruce.
Oh, he's on my list. No, I'm going to take George Springer.
Guy, you taking Jay Bruce?
No. I have two choices here.
Okay.
Dick Markakis, Matt Kemp.
What if you take?
Do Matt Kemp.
What if you do Matt Markakis? You get their combined stats.
Matt Kemp was so good.
But you also have to have sex with somebody named Matt Markakis.
Dick
Dick
Markakis has always batted 300.
Yeah, but come on. He sucks.
Yeah, I'm going to take Matt Kemp.
Yeah, but he sucks. All right, well, that's.
Are we giving Markakis then to
Yeah.
Mock? All right, catchers.
I just want one.
Listen. Anybody takes him, I'm gonna cry.
Do it again. He doesn't get first.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah. Do it again. He doesn't get first. Buster Posey.
Yeah.
Cheater.
I'm going to two.
Mass, you have two. Molina.
Yep.
All right. Kendall, you got third.
God, I don't even know what I want. Yadier Molina.
Just got picked.
Well, who really just picked Matt? Oh yeah, he would.
Who else would he pick?
I don't know what I thought I heard. Carlos Santana.
Oh, that's funny.
Wait a minute. Does somebody have him? Take a look at first base. Does somebody have Santana?
No.
I'll give it to you.
Is he not a catcher?
Not anymore.
I could choose otherwise.
It's fine. You can have him. He played most of it. Just recently became a first
It
base.
was kind of split, I feel.
Go. All right, I'm going to take Luke Roy.
Sorry, real quick.
What do you mean you have to run? You can't hold it?
No,
You just win.
I know.
We literally have one more position.
I know.
I want to see what would happen if you held it.
So, Mock is getting Russell Martin.
Or Salvador Perez.
Russell Martin.
I can't wait for him to listen back on the show and be like, I would have picked that guy.
We can give him Czechoslovakia.
You're right. And we might.
Come on, what about Wilson Ramos?
Czechoslovakia is funnier.
Let's give him Wellington Castillo. Oh, you know who would have been great for me if I wasn't here that you should have picked? Kurt Suzuki. Fuck that guy.
What are we doing? Best DH?
Utility man.
Utility.
Yeah.
We could have done DH, but
You want to do DH as well? We'll do DH.
Yeah, we could do DH.
I don't know what qualifies as
Utility man means they have to be able to play 3 positions.
Yeah, and I already know mine. If I get first. But we won't know for a couple minutes now.
I have no idea.
Dude, just look up guys that played a lot of positions.
Yeah, if he had his notebook here.
And you already picked the best one.
What qualifies as a position? Like when I
all the
say
things
that,
we
like,
just drafted.
No, like would somebody who could be a closer and a starter be
No.
considered a utility?
No.
No, it has to
Okay.
like,
Defensive positions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Catcher, everything but pitcher.
Okay.
All right, did you randomize it?
Yep, you're
I'm going to
first.
take Ben Zobrist.
it's already picked.
Why can't I have him for utility man?
It's the same guy.
No, it's not. All right, can I take Josh Harrison?
Yeah, it's okay.
Is it a bad pick, Kyle?
Kind of,
Just
if you don't
makes
pick
Kyle
Sean
sad, that's all.
Figgins, you suck.
What did you say, Kyle?
If you don't pick Sean Figgins, you suck.
I mean, he is good. You know who I really want? I want Willie Bloomquist, but I think he retired in like 2009. That guy could play every position.
Am I up?
No. I don't know what I want. Just give me a Stribble Cabrera.
Am I up?
Yeah.
Matt Carpenter.
Who's already picked?
Carp.
Yeah, I picked him as my manager. Mock.
You last.
Oh, sorry, Mass, I mean.
Kyle, who will I suck if I don't pick at this point?
Fig.
Repeat your sentence.
Well, you told Kendall he was going to suck if he didn't pick, what's his face?
Oh, Sean Figgins?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
don't
who will
pick
I
him.
suck if
Don't
I don't
pick him.
take?
Don't pick that guy.
Well, who should I pick?
Pick Brandon Moss.
Even I know that's a bad idea.
No, you didn't.
You can pick.
You didn't know that.
If you remember the list, you would know.
I can't find a good list.
No. The list that he did.
Yeah, I did one just last week.
I know.
You can't go wrong with Mark Trumbo.
Can I
pick
go
Marwin
listen to
Gonzalez.
last week's episode real quick?
Jose Oquendo. I don't know.
Can I get a real answer real quick?
Marwin Gonzalez.
All right, let's pick him. Can I pick Ben Zobrist again?
No.
Can I pick him again? I already tried that.
Yeah, but I
Give
actually
him
have
Mock.
him.
Brock.
Beehole. All right, and DHers.
I already have mine. And they have to be like a legitimate DH. None of that frap.
Do we want him to go first, or do you want to?
Oh, no.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We'll just go in that order.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Am I first then?
Yeah.
Nelson Cruz.
Damn it, Souls. I want to re-vote. Makes me so mad.
Nelson Cruz was already taken.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was in the outfield.
For what? From who?
Me.
Prove it.
It's right here on the list.
Send it to me. Throw it.
All right, I'll trade you the guy. We'll make it work. I'll give you somebody else.
Who? Where? What number am I picking at?
You're next.
Oh, nice.
No, you're not.
Who's next?
I don't even know. I'm not looking at that.
Kendall, who's next?
What?
Is next.
Who's next?
You're up right now.
Oh, like right this second?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Hold on. I have to go back into my notes because we added this at the end.
Kendall, what position am I picking in?
You are after me, so
Last.
last.
Good. Just what I was hoping for.
Well, I'm gonna see when this guy retired. Sorry, I want to make sure I'm picking somebody that played at least a.
If you want Chris Davis, you can have him.
I don't.
Nah, he gave you one good year.
Nope, he hasn't.
Mock's gonna get.
Sorry, I'm just looking at this guy. You guys should talk.
I mean,
What? I mean,
I don't really have. So,
I mean,
Kyle,
I'm
what
an asshole.
designates that they were a designated hitter? Like, should they have been a designated hitter the majority of their career?
Like a guy that played there for like 3 years.
All right.
3 years. That's it.
Yeah. Not everybody starts off as a DH.
But they always end up
All
as
right.
one.
I'll just bite the ears. I'll take Poppy. Kendall, take my boy.
Frank Thomas.
No, you can. You're not gonna get a lot of points out of him though. You'll get a lot of eugenics though.
You know who's a good DH guy? I'll give you one hint.
I'm really good with him in the show.
Yeah, him or he fucked a porn star.
Oh yeah, he's good too. But the guy I'm really good with in the show, I was thinking about him, but like Ortiz played like obviously less years, way better average.
I'm gonna take Edwin.
Was he either of those people?
Yeah,
Which one? The porn star or the one you're good at in the show?
the one I'm good with in the show. I hit like 70 home runs a year with him.
All right, so who's the porn star guy, Kyle?
Mike Napoli.
Billy
All
Butler.
right. Gonna go ahead and take Napoli.
You know who Rachel Rocks is?
Yeah.
That's who he fucked.
Oh, good for him.
Mock.
Oh, Napoli would have been funnier for him, though.
Mark Teixeira.
I'm thinking that. Just give him to him. I mean, he was a Gold Glove first baseman, but I'll let this one slide.
Well, when did he retire?
Like 4 years ago.
How long ago?
4 years ago.
Well, do you want to give
Mark-
Teixeira? You want to put Pujols in his DH spot and give him Teixeira?
Mark
at
Teixeira
first base?
retired in 2016.
Yeah, we could do either or.
I'll just give him Teixeira.
So Mock lost.
I don't know. Because I put at the bottom, I know we're going to fuck him, so plus 100 points. And I don't know how I'm doing the scoring yet, so that could be huge. It could be fucking huge.
Just catapults him into first.
All right, so there's your teams.
We're doing
Yeah.
hockey next week.
Oh, yeah.
I know I'm picking every round.
No, you don't. Do you? All right, so if you have the 5th overall pick on the utility forward spot, who are you picking?
Utility forward.
Yep.
Fifth pick.
5th pick. Which means 5 forwards have already gone. Or, so, 25 forwards have already gone.
Mark Ranatan.
Wow, that's really bad. Good for you, though.
I guess I said the right guy.
No, you didn't say the right guy. All right, so there's the pick. We are way behind schedule. So next week we'll release the scores for the MLB draft, fantasy draft thing, along with the final standings heading into the last draft. As Kyle said, we're going to do hockey. And yeah. Does anybody have anything they'd like to close with before we say our goodbyes?
I'll give a shout out to the Mrs. Mass. Her birthday is tomorrow.
Okay, well, it's not today, so if we record for another 25 minutes, you can do it. And she's not Mrs. Mass yet. There's still,
gotta be.
still a chance that Kendall and I can ruin you.
I'm not even invited to your wedding.
Yeah, you are.
I know.
But
The invitation's on your PlayStation.
Can you tell me when it is again?
no, go look at your invitation.
Wow, I have to take it off from work, dude.
Okay, go look at your invitation.
Dude, I got like 3 weddings to go to this year.
It's on Christmas, Kyle. Of last year. So
You missed it.
Either
You'd be an asshole.
Either come or you don't. Yep.
Anybody else?
Yeah, anybody else have anything they want to say?
Nope, nothing good for me.
All right.
Good show.
Yeah, it's fun. Sorry I missed part of it.
Yeah, it's
All
all right.
of it. We had a good safety talk without you.
What?
Like on fire alarms.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Next week we'll cover the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Live. Kendall
Alright.
will watch it. Kendall will
I'll
definitely
watch it.
Oh, Kendall's going to watch it because there's no other football on otherwise.
Nah, I won't watch it.
Yes, you will.
You know why I won't watch it? Because it's not on cable. If it was on cable and I had it, I would watch it.
I mean,
Well, I guess it's on ESPN, right?
yeah.
I could watch it. I could watch it.
You don't have cable?
He's gonna watch it.
Nah. I got a satellite.
You're gay.
No, not just satellite. I have a satellite on my house, which means whatever comes in from the air is what I get.
Wow, you are living life as a poor person, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And they don't have to.
Well, I'm not paying for cable. Nothing good on TV.
They're it.
There's really
All
not.
these sports.
Well, I could still get what's on NBC.
You could also stream it.
Yeah, but Kendall's not smart enough for that.
Oh, I try.
Kendall, give me
I've-
20 minutes and a fire stick. I'll set you up.
But here's the problem. I have a smart TV, but I have the first generation smart TV. So
Kendall.
you can't download new apps.
Kendall, give me 20 minutes with a fire stick, and I will set you up so you can just stream whenever you
I
want
don't
to.
need you to have sex with my television for me to watch TV. But yes, maybe that we do that.
Beer reviews real quick. Matt, did you drink anything?
I had water.
All right. Souls, how was the hashtag double hashtag of the doubles no filters?
It was good. It was hashtag great.
What is it actually called?
Double hashtag no filter.
No, it's hashtag double no filter.
Not the way this is read.
Yeah, it's double hashtag no filter.
8.5% though.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Hazy?
Yeah.
Juicy?
It wasn't juicy.
Delicious?
It was good.
How many
Hey, I have
stars?
I have a question after Souls is
3.
done.
Would you get it again?
Of course.
All right. Of course. Red Baron?
I had the Budweiser Black Lager, brewed in Jim Beam, not brewed in Jim Beam barrels, but
I gotta get better. I was killing it on the beer reviews, and my journal got lost, and you're almost done with your journal.
no, I'm halfway through. You got way more than I do.
No way. Go ahead.
7.1% from St. Louis, Missouri. Coppery dark brown, kind of a smoky, earthy aroma flavor. Very drinkable for its percentage. Blows you away? Not really, but it's good. It's fine. Would I 2 stars? Would I get again? Maybe. Yeah. If it,
Yeah, more than likely.
I would never buy it for myself, but give it to me, I would drink it every time.
All right. I had the Sterling Archer, which was the dry hop pilsner from Thimble Island, with the Sterling Archer artwork on the can.
That's awesome.
It was golden and straw in color with bread and grainy notes and aroma. It was very tasty. It had amazing artwork. I would buy it again just for the artwork, but it was a pretty solid beer. At $11.99 for a pilsner, I usually kind of stay away from those because pilsner, if you know what beer is, pilsner is just Miller Lite. It's not really like a hard beer to craft. It's not like a wow beer. But I gave it 3 stars and I said sure I'd get it again because the artwork is phenomenal.
Will you send me a picture of that?
No,
All right.
you can look at it when we post the show.
All right.
There'll also be 2 in the cooler next week.
What was the beer I had last week? Do you remember?
No.
All right. Pretty sure there's still 2 of them in there.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
There are. They're there.
It was something that wasn't ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Kendall, do you know where they can find us on social media?
So, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter is at GSWD_4.
Make sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether it's missing the show to go to Mississippi or Skype calling in. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Do, do,
So
do.
good. So good.
All right, go ahead.
Any platform you listen to your internet radio shows, podcasts, be it iHeartRadio, Google Play, iTunes, anything off of Spreaker, Spotify, you name it. Getting Sports with Drunk is there. So don't question I can't find your show. We're there.
I actually listened to us live on Spreaker today.
Oh, well, thank you, Mass.
How were we?
Actually, pretty good.
Feels good. Feels good to be appreciated live. Thank you, Mass.
Yeah.
Get those plays up. Listen to PPRN all the time. 3 shows now on the PPRN Radio Network. The Peter Pinto Show, Wednesdays from 7:30 to 10:30ish. I'll be on, doing all the crazy things that Pete does. There is a show, the 4 Live Crew, I believe it's called, Sunday nights from 7 to 8. I don't know the time of that show, but Johnny Epps, he was on our show a long time back, but he's doing a show with some of his crew, so definitely check that out. Yeah, PPRN, 10 years of PPRN.
Yeah.
So congrats.
Congratulations, Peter Pinto.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, until next week, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler. Nope.
Hashtag souls.
The Master Chris Massey.
And I'm the Red Baron.
Bye, Mass.
Bye.
Yeah.